What's up, beautiful ladies, wonderful gents? You got an afternoon live from me, Don, aka Don Murray. The what's my name? What's that dude? Oh yeah, the FDMG Boogeyman. So yo, check this out, folks. I did a live yesterday and I messed up because I deleted the live. So this is, I guess we gonna call this part 1/2. What I'm saying? It's part 2/1. And with part 2/1, we have some serious questions that we're going to answer, and we're going to get into the importance of this inauguration day because a lot of folks don't understand 2024, and they don't understand slavery, and they don't understand that a lot of times punishment is real. So we're going to ask three questions. One was slavery needed? Okay, that's one question that we're going to talk about. Was slavery needed? It's like, you have a home, you have children, and do you ask yourself, is discipline needed? Now, is what type of form of slavery we're going to talk about? That's, inhumane, but was slavery needed? And we're just going to keep on common sense. Okay, I'm not the one to be doing all the research of facts. I just like to do common sense. So after the question of was slavery needed, then we have another question was, when has America been great for black people? Okay, when has America been great for black people? That's my next question. And then my third question is, when have black people been great for America? Now, me personally, I could do this live in maybe like 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I can really do this live in 10 minutes. But we're gonna try and get an hour out of this live. Okay, so if we go over the hour, then it is what it is. We having good conversation. But in the meantime, I could do this live in 10 minutes. Okay, folks. But we're gonna let it go. This is part 2/1, part 1/2, because I deleted my freaking video from yesterday. I'm kind of upset right now. So my energy for this one is not there like it would have been if my video was there. But because I deleted my video by accident, I was trying to delete one of my shorts, and I ended up deleting the video I just did yesterday in regards to was slavery a choice? You know what I'm saying? Was slavery a choice? So this is part 2 of was slavery a choice? And now we got questions, was slavery needed? Okay, this is a question I need y'all to ask yourselves. Was slavery needed? When has America been great for blacks? Okay, because everybody want to say, oh, what's this making America great again? When has America been great for blacks? And I love how we always want to single us out. You don't hear anybody else other than us whining. That's the funniest shit. I don't know. Maybe I'm not on YouTube enough to hear, or maybe I'm not social media enough to hear, when Chinese Americans are speaking, like, when has China been, when has America been great for Chinese? I'm not hearing Spanish people saying, when has America, been great for Spanish people? You don't hear nobody say that except for the color folks. So being that, we black, I'm going to access the question, when have black people been great for America? So we got those three topics that we're going to get into, and hopefully we can have a very great discussion and we can stay focused. All right, so those three questions. Was slavery needed? Okay, so we're going to get into that, and I just want to just give a rundown of, when you look at your household, you look at your community. Let's not talk about slavery for 2 seconds. Let's look at your household. Let's look at the community. Okay, the households of America, the community of America, and let's just think about it for 1 second. How out of control has your neighborhoods been since 1900? Okay, we got to really just look at what we're living in to understand our future, our past. We also need to look at what we're living in now to know where the direction of the future is going. So like I said, I could do this live stream in 5-10 minutes, or I can do this in 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? This is a great topic. But you know what I'm saying, a lot of folks ain't going to give this real serious thought and conversation, although this is a great topic. When I say this is a great topic, because we have so much viewpoints from here. We have a viewpoint from the older generation. There's viewpoints from a younger generation. There will be viewpoints from a male perspective, viewpoints from a female perspective. You know what I'm saying? So when we look at the question, was slavery needed? You really have to not think from a victim perspective, because none of us here right now was victims. So I don't want us to think and have conversation from a victim perspective, because none of us grew up in slavery. None of us. Okay, so don't speak from a victim perspective. Speak from a common sense perspective. What made these people confiscate another group of people and put them in bondage and use them for cattle? And then what allowed it to be? If this group of people have so much godliness in them, if this group of people believe that they're the chosen ones, okay, if this group of people, black folks, believe that they're the chosen ones, what will allow the creator that they believe in, put them in bondage? So we're going to have common sense for this conversation, because it takes common sense. It don't really take archives of you studying. It just takes common sense. And once we use a little bit of common sense, we're going to see that maybe we was bad. So we're going to ask ourselves, what are we like in this present day? How is the black race as a people, the people who has color? I ain't talking about Kamala Harris color. I'm talking about people like Michelle Obama color, people like Bill Cosby color, people like Sean Diddy Combs color, people like R. Kelly color, people like Jay-Z color, people like Beyonce color, people like Megan Good color. See, I'm naming all these folks because these folks are in the spotlight that we live in today. These are the people who obtain riches. Okay, I want to keep it simple. These are people who obtain riches. Okay, the people who obtain the American dream. And when we look at their lives as they reach over 30, over 40 years of age, and now they're in a spotlight. And these people have riches since they was in their teens. These people have riches since they was in their young 20s. These people have riches for a long time. And so I'm asking you, why are they in the spotlight now with inhumane evils? So if this is what's going on in this present day, I would like to wonder, but I don't want to wonder too much on it, but I would wonder how it was 400 years ago, 500 years ago. And you got to remember, don't think that it was an issue that they grabbed slaves all over the world, because I don't think so. I don't think they had enough time to do that shit, or enough resources to do that, personally. It was not enough resources, personally, for them to really do what they say they was doing. I don't even really truly believe the numbers. I'm going to be 100% with you. I don't believe that they said there was over 50-some thousand, or should I say 50-some million slaves. I just don't believe those numbers. Because if there was 50-some million slaves that was captured and bonded and put in bondage, how many military men, how many men and women did they have to oversee that mission? And this is why I made that video yesterday, saying that slavery was a choice. Because after 100 years of that harsh treatment, you must die for life. And so my whole thing is, was this punishment inevitable? And we have to really look at the way we living in today for us to know the past. If you don't look into today, you will never know what your yesterday was, and you won't know what your tomorrow will be, because you're not really paying attention to the times of what you're living in right now. So we're going to ask all three questions, and then we're going to communicate about all three questions. So we didn't go 100% in, what slavery needed. I'm not going to answer just yet. I'm just going to go to the next question. When has America been great for black people? Okay, so this is like one long question. So was slavery needed, and when was America great for black people? So now, as we ponder on that thought, let's just keep focused on this modern day right now, 100 years in now. When has America been great for blacks? We want us to sit back and think about that. Okay, so we the Civil War, then World War, then saying you had the Korean War, you had Vietnam War. We were so busy. This is what I want you to understand. We've been in wars for so long. Okay, you gotta ask yourself why we always want to single out as black folks when we've been in wars where the country itself never really enjoyed the country. And because we just been in wars. If you was to look from the Civil War to this modern day, how many wars have we been in? How many wars have we engaged in? So realistically, we blacks sitting back talking about when has America been great for us? When has America truly been great for America itself? When has America took time to heal? And that's why I want us to really stop rolling with a victim mindset and just live in the mindset of right now and look at the situation right now and then ask yourself this question. Ask yourself this question. When have black people been great for this country, America? Like the dude said, ask not what America has done for you, but ask what you can do for America. That's a deep question. And I know he had to target that towards black folks. I'm dead serious. I really want to talk to some black folks for a second because we the complainants about that MAGA slogan. We the real complainants, and we always want to single out us and say, when has America been great for us? Because we always want to make it seem like, oh, when it was slavery for us, that was when America was great. Well, you gotta ask yourself, did your creator allow you to be in slavery that long because you fell from your greatness? Did we fall from our greatness? Because I would say maybe America was great. Maybe the country was great. Maybe the land was great when we actually obeyed. And I ain't talking about man's laws. I'm talking about when we actually obeyed God's laws. When we actually was able to hear and listen. That's when the country itself, when the world was great. But ever since we disobeyed and we close our ears, didn't want no one, nothing to tell us nothing. That's been the downside of this world. And then you gotta say and you gotta look. Okay, so what was the downside of this world? Y'all gonna get mad at me. I already know you're gonna get mad at me. But I'm just the messenger. And for those who just tapping in, I'm doing this live stream because it's important for me to do this live stream because I lost my other live stream. So I'm doing this live stream right here. But don't be mad at the messenger. But according to that book, that Bible, the world was great when we was obeying. You know what I'm saying? You had Adam supposedly walk around this beautiful garden. He was just obeying, doing everything he needed to do. But once he got distracted with some woman and some coochie, then all of a sudden everything just broke loose. So I just would like to know, was this country, or should I say America, did it dissolve when we as men stopped being men and we stopped obeying and we stopped doing right things because we was trying to impress or we was trying to get along or we was trying to, what is it that we do now? You gotta ask yourself, we have to ask this question, what is it that we do now that we must did 1,000 times worse back then that put us on punishment? What did we do now, men, that we must have been doing worse that got us into that 1,000 times worse that got us into the situation? And that's why I want to answer the question: was slavery needed? Because as harsh as this ish is, as ugly as it is, after the first 200 years, why did the people become so complacent with it? What made them become comfortable with it? Was it a reality check to knowing that, yo, we deserve this? And I'm asking questions because I want us to explore deep into ourselves so we can see the answers because we know we living in it to this day. Sorry. That's why I'm saying to you, are we heading back towards slavery because we are worse than what we was 1,000 years ago, 500 years ago, 2,000 years ago, or did we become worse? And so we have to really sit back and say, is America going to become great again because we about to get punished again? Punished for not doing what we supposed to have been doing for like the last 500 years? Punished for disobeying? And that's the question. Are we about to get punished again? That's the big question that we're supposed to be asking. Are we heading for a punishment? What type of punishment are we heading for? Are we heading from a man-made punishment, or are we heading from a godly punishment? Because I want us to ask ourselves right now, why do you think I'm going to organize a men's rally? I wouldn't be caring about a men's rally if I didn't feel in my gut that something's wrong with us as people. In 50 years of me living, I gotta ask myself a question like, are we as good as we think we are? Are we as loving as we think we are? Are we as caring as we think we are? When has America been great for blacks? We gotta ask yourself that question. America has always been great for blacks. America has always been great for Chinese. America has always been great for whites. America itself was always great for human beings. But it's what human beings is being great to America. What human beings is being great to the lands in which they live. You gotta ask yourself, in this day and age, who respect the lands in which they live in, their communities in which they live in? Who respect the people in which they live in? And this is the question that you must ask yourself, because if you want to have the answers, if you want to have the right answers, you got to look within yourself and look at just the situation right now. Because what we see is a reflection of our past. So when you go into people's neighborhoods that don't look like you, for some reason, they have less abandoned homes and they have more beautiful communities. You got to ask yourself, why? Do you become wicked? So you say, oh, that's because they focus on these people's communities more, they fund these people communities more, or because these people in the communities they live in respect their land, respect the earth, respect their peers? Do you think it's that, or you think because the system gives these people much more and they don't give us enough? So these are questions I want us to answer to ourselves, and then start living the real life answers of caring and love and respect. Because if you believe like I believe, and you know like I know, we in our communities, we show the lack of respect we have for it. We show the lack of love we have. We show the lack of care and concern we have. We show it. And then we try to spread that energy like locusts. And so I want us to really take a long, deep breath. Take two. Take one more. Hold it. Let it out. Close your eyes and think. Why are there so many single mothers in our communities? Why are so many black women in our community? Why there's so much broken home in our community? I want you to think, where is the love? Where's the unity? Where's the respect? And then I want you to open your eyes and say, damn, was we like this 600 years ago? And was we like this worldwide? You know what I'm saying? Not just America, but worldwide. How are we in Africa? How are we in Jamaica? How are we in Brazil? How are we in Cuba? How are we in Belize? What type of black people is in South America? What type of black people is in Canada? What type of black people are we in this day and age? If we was to have a report card, and like I say, most people is not going to be ready for this, and I'm sorry I have to be the one to relay this message. Don't think I want to relay this message. But we preparing for the Millionaire's March Part 3, the inauguration series. We're preparing for that. And we have to have a reality check, because we cannot go out there with a victim mentality. We're not going out there with a weak mentality. We're not going into 2025 with a weak mentality. we're going into a 2025 with a true understanding of what our problems are, what our issues are, and we going to resolve them. But we must face our problems and face our issues. We must face the reality. And once we face this reality, folks, then we can handle it as real men and women. But if we running away from the reality of ourselves, if we running from the images of ourselves, if we're not looking at ourselves for that change, to be that change, then we never ever going to break free because we lying to ourselves. Most people lie to themselves. I try to block it out my mind. I try to forget about it. You can try and block something. You can try and forget about it, but it's still there. Because once it comes back to the memory, it's there. It's there. It shines even brighter. Like that light above my head shines bright. So my thing right now is, folks, was slavery needed? Okay, I was watching this little short. It was the kids. They was in the classroom. They were sitting like in a little circle, and the teacher was sitting in the circle with them, male teacher. Okay, and so it just starts off and say, "Yo, get out my classroom." And he talked to one of the students. He said, "Get out my classroom." And I guess the student know that this teacher don't play, and so the student says, "Yo, man, don't be talking to me like that." And then he rose up and he said, he kind of cursed, and he said, "Get up out of my classroom." And he moved up on the dude about, like, see about this close, about a hat bill from this dude face, a hat bill from this dude body, and he walked right behind like a hat bill all the way to that door. Made sure that kid got up. Kid said a few things he was saying, but he says, "I will make sure that you know what a real man's about. I will fuck you up." Dope. That was dope. Because I'm gonna let you know, little nigga. I'm gonna let y'all know, little niggas. I'm not your mommy. I'm not your daddy. You are in my world. Your parents send you to my world because your parents not educating you. Okay, I want y'all to understand something now. I'm going somewhere with this. Your parents are not educating you. They're not taking the time out to discipline you. They're not taking out the time to show you love. But they sending you to me. And I don't have to do none of the above except for get my check and get paid because I do my job of trying to get this information to you and trying to make sure that you learn it. But if you think that I'm going to sit back in this classroom and take the same bullshit that you give your grandmother, that you give your mommy, and the shit that you give the mommy's boyfriends because your daddy ain't around, I'm not having it. So this one teacher told this kid, I would treat you like a man and I will bust your ass. And he said that in many less words, but he said that as he walked this kid up out that classroom. That's the type of discipline is needed now. That's the type of energy that's needed now because our children is way out of control with no discipline. So when you have students in school that's way out of control with no discipline, have no respect, have no concerns about anybody, and you think that you're going to put real men amongst them to try and teach, and they supposed to tolerate that, they not. So when you have human beings who's not tolerating this beast mentality, this anger mentality, this mentality of you entitlement mentality, and like I say, I'm not defending. I want us to defend ourselves against ourselves. I want us to fight the evil that's within ourselves because I think that we hold a Luciferian mindset way deeper than others. I think that we hold a satanic energy way deeper than many others. I'm just being serious. I believe that our women and our men are more evil than any other race out there. That's what I believe. Because that's what I'm seeing in this present day. That's what I'm seeing and hearing in this present day. And what I'm seeing in this present day, especially because we have online, I'm seeing that when you look at most people channels, their energy and the channels that they put out there, the energy they put out there is so demonic. You can feel it coming off of them. And so I want you to understand that the days that we're living in right now, there's a demonic spirit. that floats within our homes, our household, and ourselves. And it's now become we embracing it now. I can imagine that it was embraced in those times, embraced to a level where the voodoo and witch doctors and all the other stuff was huge and scary back then. And them burning witches to the stake and shit like that. You know, all throwing them, tying them up with rocks and throwing them into the ocean. All this is why I believe that we had certain forms of slavery, because it must have been really high in the black communities. When you look at Haiti, when you look at African culture, when we look at a lot of deep Caribbean cultures, they really practice this form of rituals. I'm just gonna say satanic. They can teach me other than what it is, but I'm just gonna say satanic, and I'm gonna say, hey, I'm stupid, I don't know. You can prove that it's not satanic to me. I don't have no problem with you proving it's not satanic to me. You understand what I'm saying? But that's the whole key right now. Prove to me it's not satanic, and then I won't use that word satanic. I will use the word that you prove it to be. But when I look at Umar Johnson in this present day, and I think about him talk about African culture, and then him talk about what he serves, and then I think about, and I look at the fact that I'm sitting here with a lawsuit against him, and I'm like, damn, if we are like this in 2000s, can you imagine what we was like in 500s, the year 500? We existed. We did not just come out of nowhere. We've been existed. And our history must have been extremely dark. You can say we was kings and queens, but even kings and queens don't mean that they was positive and good people. That's what makes me sick about people. They always want to say, oh, we wasn't slaves, we was kings and queens. So what type of king and what type of queen was we? It's easy to say that we was kings and queens. But what, just like Umar Johnson always want to say, hey beautiful queen. And I'm like, nigga, you don't know that woman? You don't know her soul? You don't know her spirit? And this is why I'm trying to tell you what gods we really be serving. Because you calling a chick a queen just out of nowhere is kind of weird to me. Because in my mind, she has to prove to me she's not a Jezebel. Let alone she just call her a queen. They have to prove that they not Jezebels. This is the time we living in. We living in 2000s. So the year 2000s is we must prove that we are on the right track. Okay? So everybody must understand that we are living in the future now. In the future, we don't know who's what's who. So this is the years of proving that you are not of the dark side. You are not of that negative satanic energy. That's what we supposed to be doing right now. Because I'm telling you, in the last 50 years of our lives, we done proved that we are serving this evil entity. Look at hip hop. Look at hip hop. When I was just looking at I was looking at five MCs, five female MCs of the 90s. You had Queen Latifah, you had Lauryn Hill, you had Little Kim, you had Foxy Brown, and you had, we could say MC Light, but there was another one I just seen. I seen just another one. It was Little Kim, Queen Latifah, oh, Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott, yes, Missy Elliott. Okay, I'm just taking the starting five of them. We can add Trina in there, but once we start adding more into it, it gets even darker and raunchier. Remember, Queen Latifah came out before Lil Kim. Queen Latifah came out before Foxy Brown. They came out way before Foxy Brown and Lil Kim and Missy Elliott. Okay, MC Light. Okay, and Queen Latifah, Moni Love, they was out way before these young ladies. But what happened is the Jezebel spirit and the spirit of lust and went through and channeled their energy through our music and made babies through music. Like they say, baby making music, or R. Kelly is like the godfather of baby making music, and what entity is he under? What entity he's serving? And so all those children that was came from that generation of music have a demon attached to them. And who's embracing their demons? Who's embracing their demons and internalizing their demons and becoming their demons? Sasha Fierce, the Queen Bee. So what I'm telling you is that we are of a generation that truly don't recognize, but we serving the devil. You serving the devil. You don't even see it. And once you can identify who you really serving, you know who you're serving through the way you're dressing, the way you with the music that you really listening to. You know what I'm saying? The shows you watch, the view, what you do, and just look at your routine of what you do. You will actually really know what God you really serving. Most people serving the devil, but don't want to hear it because the devil is fun, right? It's fun in doing being free, loose and free. So when I asked was slavery needed, it's fun being loose and free. It's fun being lustful, loose and free. Sorry, folks. Hear a lot of commotion in the hallway. So what I'm saying to you is this. When you're ready to come to grips with reality, then you'll be able to break free. Once you come to grips with reality about the past, okay, about your past, about the human beings of the past, once we can really truly come to grips with reality, then we can see why we are in the situation that we are in for the last 500 years. But if we do not come to grips with reality, if we keep trying to make an illusion so that we can feel good about ourselves, like a lot of these women who's dancing and stripping and doing VIPs, and they say, well, I'm doing it because I'm doing it for my children. They worth it. I'm doing it for my education. It's worth it. You know, once you can start designing that mindset, mind frame into your soul, and once you can start making and make yourself believe that, that shit can go on for years and years. You can become 85 years of age and still stick with that. Well, I mean, I look what we have. You know, I danced and I stripped and I did all sorts of things for my kids. And you know, I think I did good as a single mother. I think I did good raising the kids. You know, I mean, I got 4 kids. They went to college. You know, I got one girl. She's studying. She's a nurse. I got another son. He's a teacher. I got a daughter. She's in the military. Those be us justifying our evils. But then a person like me would come and say, and what happened to your men in life? I mean, the fathers in life. Oh, well, they walked away, they stepped away. And we never really say, why? Was you evil? Why? Was you bad? We always just instantly think, oh, he's a deadbeat. Instantly. But we're not asking anything about what you really was like. Most children don't know what their mother and their father really was like because we wasn't born when they was together. We can only go by what we see and what we hear, but we don't know that daddy might have tolerated mommy's promiscuous behavior. Mommy probably tolerated daddy's bad boy behavior. There's no telling what the hell it was, but the bottom line is we are the children of these ancestral curses. And once you understand that we are the children of ancestral curses, then you realize that was slavery needed to break us out of the demon spell, yo. Whip that demon up out of us. Was it that deep, or was they just that evil? Was it a combination? Because if it was a combination, that's kind of even worse. That you like, and if you ever seen the movie Young Guns, they had to hire criminals to go against the law, or the law hired criminals to fight those wicked people, outlaws. Just like you look at the movie Demolition Man, they had to go and go and unice a police officer that was a Rambo, not giving a damn. I don't care. I'm gonna serve this law. I'm going against bad people. They actually had to go dig into the ice and bring him back to life to deal with the chaos that was going on in the world. Go watch Demolition Man. So if you look at this movie's Demolition Man, you look at Young Guns, you just think about what we need to combat this certain type of energy. What was needed for these human beings, these Bloods and Crips, okay, the Bloods and Crips of the past, the gangs of the past, the Latin kings of the past. What was needed to deal with those people back 500 years ago? That's where I want us to really sit back and try to like analyze. Or was it just pure evil that allowed them to not only run through slavery, understand what I'm saying, but 200 years later after slavery, pure evil is still ruling the lands today with free slaves, with free black people now, and if they say, oh, they pure evil, but they still are ruling you. They pure evil. And then this man coming and saying, yo, this is a beautiful country we live in. And I mean, I could go to the window and put the camera there so you can see. It's a beautiful world we live in. What would the world be like if they wasn't? I mean, what would the world be like if we wasn't the way we were? That we wasn't the way we are? What would the world be like? Now, was the world good when slavery was taking place? Was the world moving in a fashion like, yo, this is great? Was it moving greatly? I don't know. I wasn't there. But just looking at the situation right now, a friend of mine's got attacked in her own neighborhood by a person that looks like her. A friend of mine's got attacked by a person that looked like her years ago. Another friend of mine's got tagged by a person that looked like her. My sister got tagged by a person that looked like her. I mean, we break it down. Why are we acting like this after we did slavery, after we came out of slavery, after we fought this and we got through that? How in the world are we still out of control on this level? We have such an evil in us that it's going to take God itself to shine the light, see the light, and shine the light on us. Is that going to take? Is that what it's going to take for the evil to come about the people? I'm talking about us right now, because for some reason, whoever's ruling this country right now, right here, for some reason, they can negotiate with India, they can negotiate with Russia, they can negotiate with Africa, they can negotiate with everybody in the world, and every country in the world looks at this country right here who's governed and ran by these white folks, who's supposed to be pure evil. Pure evil, that's what they're supposed to be, right? But every government in the world looks to this country and this government for assistance, for aid, for help, to model their system around, to try and make their system better than what this system is. Everything is based on wicked ass America with the wicked ass people in it, the wicked ass rulers. But I'm saying to you, did the wicked ass rulers, what they did to us, make everybody in the country feel like, yo, they the shit? Like, yo, those people right there, they got it. They understand it. I'm just confused. So I'm here doing this live. Let me see what Jules, Lady Butterfly, J say. Why are you stuck in the past that you have never experienced? That's what I just said. You know, you come in a little late. You heard? Because like I said, I always when I begin, you know, people come in like 40 minutes in, they hear me talking, but they didn't hear like the 30 minutes ago. I'm saying let's break it down. And let's look at the times we living in now, because the times we living in now will show you what it was back then. So I'm saying if we living in these days now, and I broke it down, you have single parents, you have single mothers, you have Kids that's out of control, disrespectful, don't have respect for life, lazy, and you do the complete breakdown because that's what I did earlier. And then I say if they like this then, they must have been 500 times worse back then. So I'm not stuck in the past. I'm bringing the future, which is what we live in now, to relevance of the past. I'm bringing the past to the present right now, and then I'm letting us see that obviously we headed for destruction because we are no different. We are even worse because we have freedom, and we have freedom, and we choose to do 90% of the wrong. Right now with freedom. And so I'm saying to you, when has black people been great for America? That's the question I'm asking. And many people are a slave today. Yes, you're a slave today because you don't know. Many folks are a slave today because they just don't know. And so that's why I'm trying to get us to understand that because you just don't know, in a few seconds you will know. Damn, I'm a fucking slave. In a few seconds, because we have not been great to ourselves. We have not truly fought the evil within us to become peoples of leadership. But you cannot be a people of leadership without getting rid of the evils within yourself. Do you realize that you can take this energy you give to the past to help people who are stuck in the modern day? Yes, baby girl. I hope you're still here. I hope you're still here because that's what we're doing right now. That's why I'm doing this live. I wish people would be able to stick with my live a little bit earlier. I wish they tapped in a little bit earlier because we organized for January 20th. January 20th is Inauguration Day. What the fuck? Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking for something. January 20th is Inauguration Day. Okay? It's like school. You got to set things up because people have to know the importance of what we're presenting for them. It's very important. It's very important for you to give the timeline breakdown so people can comprehend where we're moving forward to and why it's important for us to move forward. This is how you got to do it, black folks. Like I say, black folks really don't want to face the reality and the truth of things. And so that's why I had to go back and forth with the timeline because I'm not digging into the crates and books and stuff like that. I'm just going to give you common sense. So with common sense, I have to go back and forth with the past and the future, past and the present, just so we can understand where we headed. And that's why you say this, you say, do you realize that you can take this energy? Yeah, that's why we're going to take the energy to the inauguration and we're going to have a men's rally because it's time. Okay? That's why we're taking the time and energy because it's time for us to have a rally to increase, to put a spotlight on real mental health because a lot of folks don't know that they're dealing with post-slavery syndrome. And we're not talking about post-slavery syndrome of the trauma. We talk about post-slavery syndrome of just the characters that we were, out of control. Because I don't believe that we was great people. I just don't see it. Even the kings and queens of the past, I don't see them as great people. I can't see them as great people because I have never seen great people. I should say I have never seen great black people in the time of me living. I seen okay black folks. I seen some good black folks. I seen some I see, so. I've never seen great black people. I've never come across great black people. Great black people in regards to have a real true concern for others, a real true love for others, a real true compassion for others, a real true empathy for others. I came across some good people, some okay people, some people that, had a little empathy. But when we talk about great, I have not come across great people. I came across people that opened up their doors and gave a blessing. Yes, I'm dead serious. I mean, I've been blessed. But when you talk about great, being around great people, doing great things, that means they respect the community. They respect their family. They building for the future. They involved with the situation which they live in. They involved with the governing body. They involved with the school system. They involved with preparing the path of a future. I haven't come across that. I came across some individuals that could have been great, that had the potential to be great, but of course, when that happens, most of the time they get either stoned to death or they get caught into the quicksand of selfishness and do for self and f that greatness. So, do you realize that you can take this energy you give the past to help people who are stuck in the modern day slavery here in America and beyond, but you are dwelling on something free slaves didn't? Once again, because you don't know me. Inauguration Day, January 20th, baby, 2025. This is what we organizing. We organize Inauguration Day. I'm answering this young person's question because they don't, I guess this is their first time checking me out or something, or they probably didn't see the last video I did. They haven't seen this. But do you realize that you can take this energy you give to the past to help people who are stuck in modern day slavery here in America and beyond, but you are dwelling on something free slaves didn't? And that's what I'm saying. I'm actually a freedman. My family last name is Freedman. All right. So when I really talk, I really always talk as from a freedman's perspective. All right, being dead serious. If I was to really dig deep and find out much more about my family, I'd probably find out that we was probably real free men. We probably had freaking slaves, and who knows? Who knows? Thanks for still being here, lady butterfly. Thank you for even saying okay. So I'm not just the man who's talking, sweetheart. I mean, I swear to life, I'm not. You see, I'm the only man on the YouTube streets that's trying to organize inaugural. I'm the only man on the YouTube streets, and I guarantee you, I'm the only man on the YouTube streets, the only person who's want to organize Inauguration Day rally, meeting, celebration. Because it's time for freedom. I'm the only one talking this. And sadly, I'll probably be the only one because it probably won't be successful. But you guys heard it and see it first. So don't think that I'm just talking in the past. I'm bringing us to the future. Because never in history did we have and take time out for even what I'm talking about. Even when Martin Luther King was organizing and they killed him. So never in history was it executed in the way that's supposed to be executed. Never in history. The Million Man March was not that. The Million Man March was a gathering and it was a discussion, but it wasn't a solution. Million Man Part 2 was a gathering, a discussion to let the world know and see, there are real men out here. We can gather. They can get underneath the follow Farrakhan. They can come out. Farrakhan proved that he's a party promoter. For the time the Muslims proved that they can promote a party, but they did not have a solution for the gathering people. This right here is a solution rally. In the last 200 years, since 1865, we haven't had no people put together real solutions to execute it. And so that's what we're here for. But we must identify us as people. If we don't want punishment again, we got to become better. If you want to reach to the next level for the future, for the present day, we got to do better. And this is what this is all about. This conversation right now, like I said, was slavery needed? Most likely, especially if we already enslaved people, they probably needed it too. But we probably enslaved people that didn't need it. We was just being fucked up. One of the others, we was probably enslaved and they were just being fucked up. One or the other. But one side probably needed it. And as I'm looking at us in this day and age, I'm looking at everybody say, well, everybody commit crimes. You're right. Everybody do commit crimes. But for some reason, we the only ones who are always getting caught for our crimes we commit. So either we doing 5 times more crimes than everyone else, or we just stupid when we come to doing crimes. It might be we doing 5 to 10 times more crime. That's why we keep getting caught in the eyes of people. because other people might not, they might be doing their crimes and they're not getting caught as much as we are because we're doing 5 times more. So 3 out of 5 of us getting caught as opposed to one of theirs getting caught. 2 don't get caught, but 3 of us get caught, and those 3 is shown. We're not doing too good when it comes to being great for America. So I'm saying, okay, when have we been great for America? Then we move to the next comment. And we move into the next common sense question. Because I'm tired of people saying, oh, make it great, make America great. Oh, that was just when we were slaves. Let's ask the question to all the other people outside the black race. How great was America? How safe was America? How safe was the streets of America? You know what I'm saying? Remember, they didn't have electricity. They was traveling at nighttime with a lantern. Okay, they was traveling late night in woods. It was more rural areas in this country than urban areas. There was not no city lights. We talk about the deep, deep dirt path south. I bet you, I bet you, them Southern Belles felt much safer in those days when it was pitch black, no electricity. They felt safer when the slaves were slaves as opposed to these freemen. I'm pretty sure a lot of people is much scared now that we are free. And it's like, why? Why? Because we have not proven to the country, proven to our women, proven to ourselves that we are great people. And that's what I'm saying. We have to improve to prove. We have to improve ourselves to prove to the people that we are great people. That's why it's important for me to do this men's rally, because we must improve ourselves to prove ourselves that we are great people and we can do great things, because we have not taken time out to do so. There's never been in history a time that we organize ourselves to, especially as men, but we have organized ourselves to be great. We might have conference here, conference there, but we need a revolution of greatness. We need a revolution of greatness. We need a movement that's focusing on us being great, not equal. Great, not better than, but great. It's not about religion, it's about us just being great individuals, beautiful individuals, strong, powerful, respected individuals. That's what it's all about. Because the whole thing goes down to this last question: when have black people been great for this country? So we already said what slavery needed. When has America been great for black folks? America was great for black folks to me when white people really start getting mad at the fact that when commoners, when white people was really frustrated, the freedoms that we had, that's when America was great. When white people was frustrated about the movements that we was making, that's when America was great. The America was great when you seen the people angry at you now for what you don't even have. That's when America was great. America was great when you saw troops coming down and escorting those students into the school. America was great when America started acknowledging you for you to be a human being. Like, it sounds mediocre. Yeah, I want us to stay on mediocre stuff for 1 second. So when you seen the eyes of the hate of the white folks, that's when America was great. America was great when you had the Klans people running around on horses and burning homes and shit. America was great to black people at that time. I know it sounds crazy. And like she said, because father was back in the home at this time. America was really great during the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. America was really great. America was really freaking great. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. My entire life of the struggle as a kid, because I grew up in a house where we didn't have no electricity sometimes. I grew up in a house where we didn't have no water sometimes, and sometimes could be a year. I grew up in a house where we didn't have no telephone. Oh, forget about that shit. That's a luxury. I grew up in a house where our roof would leak all year long for 30 years. I grew up in a house on the corner house in New York, Southside Jamaica, Queens, 167th Street. I grew up in a house that raised all these kids down the block from the house that we moved from. I grew up in the 70s. I lived through the 80s, the 90s, and I'm still here in 2000. And I'm telling you that it was good. Life was good. Life was great. Because I remember my dad had a fish market. I remember my dad had the bar. I remember we always had cars. I don't know about what you guys know, because making greatness is all according to you. Greatness is all according to you. So if you living in the mindset of failure, if you living in the mindset of despair and weakness, if you living in the mindset, see, greatness is all starts here. So you guys probably don't see greatness in nothing that you see because you don't have it up here. But I know we was always going to great adventures, and we didn't have. What's wrong with you? It's just that my father moved in greatness. It's important for you to have the father figure in the house. That's when America was great, when fathers was in the house. When fathers was in the house, America was great. But a lot of people don't want to accept that because they got this energy, this feminist energy that don't even want our women to acknowledge that. So shout out to the women who do acknowledge that. That goes for all people, because when there is no father, those kids are not getting the love of their father, and they need that love. America was great when the man was in the home. America was great when man actually really could make decisions. It's just become the individual man that makes the America horrible. It becomes the individual woman that makes America horrible. But when you look at it, life is what you make it. So most people live with a weak mentality. And that's why those people who voted for Kamala Harris, all those people who voted for Kamala Harris, because Larry Smith says, I salute two-parent households, but I ain't having too leaky. I ain't having too leaky roof. My dad and I would be on that roof replacing that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we had leaky roofs. We had the oldest house on the block. And it really bothered me because, like, yo, my dad, he was a carpenter, but he just didn't do roofing. But I'm like, yo, Dad, why is our shit like this? And trust me, I would have went up on the roof my damn self. I would trust me. But we was only moving in goodness. We wasn't moving in greatness. Even when my father's in the house, we was moving in goodness, not greatness. Because like Larry said, oh, I wouldn't have that leaky house. They caught me off guard with that. But facts. So my father was good. But we got mad at him because, like, yo, Dad, we fix homes, we fix buildings, but you're not fixing our shit. Why? Because there's no money in it? You too tired? But we finally got that fixed. And then we got the house redone. And then we lost the shit. So I was like, I'd rather have the leaky house. I'd rather have the leaky ceiling than to lose it. Shout out to Larry Smith and shout out to Jules, but Lady Butterfly J. Thank y'all for tapping in. I salute y'all. Thanks for the conversation. I don't mind conversation. I don't mind it, but I do want us to keep it on the level of respect because once we finish the conversation, it's great conversation. You heard? So Larry says it's always important to have a family, mother, father. Why don't you say father, mother first? You heard? Father, mother. kids, etc. All this killing and more broken families, creating broken families, is the devil. You see, those keywords right there: broken families, creating broken families. Okay, and that's the situation that we're living in. That's why you don't see the world being great, because we're living in a demonic system that understood what greatness was. See, you guys don't know what greatness is until it's gone. Greatness was when it was households of families, and the devil knew that that was great, so it took that way. And we sitting back about to vote a woman in who's for that. We about to vote a woman in who don't have no children, who's not married to a person that looked like her, who didn't grow up with her father, who don't have much respect for her father. So when you look at all of that, and we about to vote that in, she don't have respect for life. She don't have respect for family values, and you was about to vote that in, which was going to allow the demonic system on for another 20, 30 years, which is destroying another generation. So we got to understand that what makes America great, what makes us great, is when we stop allowing these demons to rule and control us. Once we stop allowing these demons, whether they are female or male, they're black, white, or Asian, it don't matter. But once we stop allowing these demons to have control over our minds and our system and our surroundings, then you realize that the world is really great. But you have to look within yourself to find greatness and find a purpose. Having a purpose brings the greatness. If you don't have no purpose, then you're not going to see nothing great. You're going to wake up every day just being depressed because you feel like you don't have a purpose. You're going to be looking at the time. You're going to be looking at your life. You're like, TikTok, yo, what is going on? This shit sucks. But when you're living in your purpose, you just can't wait to wake up. You can't wait to do what you have to do. So we need purpose. There's most men don't even know their purpose right now. And that's where we stuck. Most people don't know their purpose, and it's hurting us. My man says, Larry says, my family has voted. Thanks for listening to what I'm saying, too. Because, like I said, many folks are going to vote that woman in who's for broken families, who's for no children, who's for destroying the children. But you're going to vote that in. This dude said, my family has voted based on conservative values since back in the day. I come from a rural black farmers. I feel like a lot of liberal rhetoric is toxic to our culture. LGBT, abortion. And yo, you know what's funny, Larry? Once you said that, like 7 people just left the stream. Once I put this on the screen, like 3 people pop back up. Thank you for popping in and out, folks. As you come in and out, please hit the like button. It's just basically a like for yourself. Don't like the video for me. Like the video for yourself. It's just like a roll call. Yo, Don, I'm here. It's just a thumb up. Don, I'm here. And shout out to you. Because a lot of people ain't really going to tap in the conversation, but just hit the like button. We do need that because it allows us to really feel good and waking up and being this purpose. But like you said, my family has voted based on conservative values. It's so crazy because in most black communities, they actually, and like you say, he's from the South, right? You from the South? I come from the rural black farmers. So farmers is mainly in South, farmland. So most likely he's from the South. And if you understand, thanks for like, and if you really understand the South, they know the South kind of really do know the difference between Democrat Party and the Republican Party. They kind of do know that the Democratic Party back in the days was a racist party. They really know that. So when you got this guy saying my family has voted based on conservative values since back in the day, I come from a rural black farm. I come from rural black farmers. I feel a lot of liberal rhetoric is toxic to our culture, LGBT, abortion, etc. That's all demonic, but the people not going to look at it. It's just you going to say, oh, it's right. No, it's really demonic. And we bring curses on us when we partake in this demonic shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, we put ourselves in slavery. We put ourselves in mental, spiritual bondages We put ourselves in the predicaments that have us looking like, God, we need an answer. Yo, answer our prayers. But we put ourselves in the situation, and we got to get ourselves out the situation. Meaning that we must do great things to get out the situation. And doing great things mean that you don't go backwards and with putting in the wrong people that will sign pieces of paper, and this piece of paper is now the rules and regulation in the law. Mean that, oh, these women have the right, no man can tell them anything. Yo, burn those babies, pull those babies up out of you, and F the man, we gonna be your man. This is the system that you're gonna be part of. You don't need no man. Oh, your kids don't worry about it. We're gonna give them some pills for their mental health because they don't have no daddy. Oh, we got you. This is the system that we live in. And I'm trying to tell you, I'm so grateful that we avoided that woman. We avoided her because she was about to send us so far back, it was about to become sickening. So let me get this off, Larry. I'm gonna take you down real quick. All right. Shout out to everybody who's tapping in. Shout out to everybody who's tapping out. We're talking about the importance of realizing that slavery was something that we actually, I think we had to go through it. Whoever was there, I think they had to go through it. And right now, because we don't need to go through it again, we organizing our men. It's important for us to organize our men because once we organize our men, white men, black men, Asian men, Spanish men, red men, okay? It's important for us to organize our men for 2025. For us just to focus on organizing black men ain't right. I'm realizing some things about me. I'm realizing some things about us. I'm realizing some things about we. We constantly want to single us out, but we not constantly singling us out to do God's work, which is to destroy the enemy. And so right now I'm at a point where I don't know who the real enemies are no more. So I'm just claiming men. And from there, we will find the right men. From there, we'll find the right women. Everything else that don't fall underneath a man won't come, won't show up. But every man that's a man who has their ears and eyes open, know that they're a man, they will be there. So we call all men, all real men, to DC. So we can get organized, so we can save our communities, we can save our households, we can save our families, we can save ourselves, because slavery is needed again. Nah, not yet. But it will be needed again if we continue to allow these children, understand what I'm saying? If we allow our children to run the streets, if we allow our children to run the households, if we allow single parent households with children to take over the streets and keep building this wave of I don't respect nobody, if we keep allowing those children to have children, because it's only going to be a matter of time. By 2035, most people who was born in the 70s will definitely be grandparents, the great grandparents. And so now we talk about two generations of children that was bred in a certain type of evil with no guidance, no respect, no love, no care, no concern for nothing, who's getting money because they just can get money off their phones now. And they're part of a system that's recycling their money back into the system. That's a demonic system. And then you have the tranny dudes, tranny girls. You have the gay guys, gay girls. You have this and that. When you mix all that together, it's time for something. I don't know if it's slavery. I don't know if that's the word. I don't know what's the word, but it's time for something. And maybe it might be time for God to show his face. I see you. If it's just that, then so be it. If it's open up, I'll be back. Close up. Then if that's what it takes, whoa, let's get that. Show your face, be like, I'll be back. That's this right here, man. There should be a campaign to rebuild the family, keeping old ideas that worked. like the Amish and Jewish. We are so quick to give up the old for the new and look. And that's yo dog, Larry, man, you're gonna get me in trouble. Larry, you're gonna get me in trouble. You're gonna make me say something that's gonna make them leave. You're gonna make me say something that's gonna make them leave. So if y'all don't want to hear what I gotta say, you might as well leave now. But if you want to hear what I say, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna turn around. I'm just gonna say it. That's because Larry. That's because Larry. We've been living in a feminine mind state for the last 30 years, Larry. For the last 30 years, 35 years, we've been living in a feminine reality. Like you said, there should be a campaign to rebuild the family, keeping old ideas that work. That's the thing of the past, dog, on this feminist movement, this feminist energy. They don't want that because the women want the women now. The women think that the women can protect the women better than us. There's a major competing campaign right now. There's a campaign of competition for our women. Women, demon women, test tube babies. We gotta understand there's a lot of things going on. We got test tube babies, we got clones, we got a lot of things in the world right now too. So we can't neglect all that we up against. So can you just imagine test tube babies and clones are the ones that's pushing this LGBT movement and got real women believing that this is the way to go, and they not even knowing that they following clones? But see, no one's going to say that. Not too many channels going to say that weird, crazy shit. You come here, I'm willing to say that weird, crazy shit because it do exist. What's that? Intro, whatever, the test tube babies, that was real. That started in the 70s. The first test tube baby child, mother died, and she's still alive. But no one's really even talking about that. But how many millions of peoples walking the earth that are modified human beings? How many human beings are walking around as GMOs? And how many GMOs are in office of power? It's in schools, it's principals, it's board of education, board of directors. I'm on the board and I'm not even a real human being. I'm a clone. And I think that we don't need to focus on the old traditional ideas. We need to have more new innovative ideas that work. And we have to have more women occupying the spaces of these men and blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, we like, where are we going with this? Because we listen to clones and we listen to oh damn, I keep forgetting the word. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the word, but test tube children. Test tube children is in your government. Test tube children is in your school system. Test tube clones, all the above is ruling the world which we live in. Because it can't be no human being that grew up with a mother and father that thinks that the old stuff don't work. It cannot be real human beings. All right, Larry, we cannot believe. I'm not even going to give it to be real human beings who believe that we need to move quickly away from the old traditional ways and now move forward with this feminine Jezebel spirit. It can't be no real human beings. All right, Larry? Thanks for that right there. I agree with you. There should be a campaign to rebuild the family. And yo, dog, there is a campaign. The dude been rallying for that for a minute. That nigga Donald Trump has been rallying for that. It's just that because he's rich and white, you don't see it. But his run was a campaign to rebuild the family. If his campaign slogan was "Family First," right? That should have been his campaign slogan. Family first. Just that simple. A lot of people don't like when we mention Trump, but I'm talking about Trump being used as an instrument. He's a tool. I told the people yesterday that he's at the gate. It's a drawbridge. This is the first time in life. And I'm so mad, I'm so sad and depressed that my video I did yesterday, I deleted it. I mean, I really liked that video I did yesterday. It was really touchy for me and allowed me to get a lot of energy out. and I deleted it by accident. So if anybody had shared that video, if anybody had saved that video, if you could send it back to me, I really truly would appreciate it. All right, I really truly would appreciate that video come to find its way back to me. If you shared the video yesterday, the video was based on slavery was a choice. This is actually part two because I delete that video. So I'm doing this one just because, mainly because I deleted that video. So I have to get this energy out again. So I'm telling you that Trump is at the drawbridge. He's at the gate, and this is the first time in history that the haves is making a connection with the have-nots. This man has been he's been a socket for have-nots for a very long time. Before he was running for office, before he was in office, just think about the show The Apprentice. The name of the show, The Apprentice. A person who's apprentice is a person who's learning skills, trade from a person who have. And he had a show about a billionaire who haves and giving opportunity to have-nots. Even if they had money, they had rich, they didn't have his money because they know they didn't have this money. They know that they was a little peanut compared to the nut he was. So he had a show called The Apprentice, which I used to get mad at my family for watching because, my little racist ass was like, why y'all watching this white crack? What the hell wrong with y'all? Y'all watching this cracker show? Oh, he's, and that was me back then being really me. I ain't gonna say ignorant because I still, don't know 100%. But as a decade and a half go by, I'm saying to you, that was all part of the molding and making of this man to be ready to handle the job that he has before him now. He has to lower the low bridge, the drawbridge for us, the troops, to go through. And that's the most important thing right now. We need the drawbridge of the castle to be lowered, and it's got to be done on an inside job, and God got him in place to lower the bridge. It's for us to be ready to run up in the shit to do what we must do. So I'm saying to us that what has black men and black people done greatness for this country? The greatest thing that we can do for this country is rebel. The greatest thing we can do for this country is revolt. The greatest thing we can do for this country is reboot it. And that means that we have to be at that drawbridge when it lets down, and we have to be ready to run in. And that's what I'm saying. It's time to get organized, because greatness is coming. But greatness is only going to come when we learn to participate to make it great. As long as we always going to be on the outskirts and we won't always going to be on the sideline, always complaining, one, your women ain't going to hear you no more. All other races ain't going to hear you no more. Your children ain't going to hear you more. You not even want to hear yourself no more. So I'm saying that for us to break that spell, it's now time for us to receive the message, realize what's there for us, stop going against what's there for us, and utilize the tools that's there for us. And the tool is this individual who's rich, who's a half, who's at the drawbridge, who's going to let the drawbridge down. We have to respect the fact that this is the person that lets the drawbridge down. And so like Larry says, he grew up, my family has voted based on conservative values. Okay, so I'm telling you that this is the conservative man that's going to be in office right now as we speak for the revolution to take place. We have a small window. They try not to stop that. They really, truly tried to stop that. But for some reason, it was ordained. And now we must make America great by us going out there and doing our part. That's that simple. But if you think that doing nothing makes greatness, doing nothing but waiting makes greatness, then I'm telling you that you are the ones who's making it worse. It's really simple. I love me. I love you. I love what's out there. I love just being able to walk and breathe. But they're taking that away because they know that the time has come. They know their time is coming. And so I'm talking about the system itself. The system is a rainbow color. The system is just not a white system. The system is a collage of human beings. That's what the system is. Yo, 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 Anton, I'm glad that you're here because I have a question for you. I deleted my video from yesterday. Did you actually save it? You said you was gonna watch it later. I don't know. I know it's there, but did you save it? Did you share it? Because I deleted the video, not the video that last night. I deleted my video from earlier. The slavery was a choice. I was hoping that you or somebody else have it on deck, saved it or something like that. You know what I'm saying? If you did, then if you can send that to me, that's what's up. I really, really do need that. Right? I don't know if you do. It just sucks. I deleted it, but if you guys got it and you can somehow send it back to me, I'll be extremely happy. I'm very upset about that. So yeah, shout out to everybody who's tapping in. Shout out to everybody who's tapping in. I'm going to check the temperature of the dude Photon and see where his mind is at. Hopefully he's in the right mindset and he's ready to create content as opposed to steal content because that's kind of whack. But I'm hoping that that's the case. All right, so what was my thought? Let me get back to that thought. So we was talking about, saying when we decide to do something, when we decide to do the right thing, we're going to make the world great. But as long as we're sitting back on the sidelines doing nothing, nothing great was going to happen except for the greatness of what they want to happen. The greatness, honestly, the greatness of the way they look at it is elimination of a lot of people. See, they already at the right stage. The right stage right now is a process of elimination. Shit. Damn. All right. I'm very upset right now. Because I really, really did enjoy that live I did yesterday morning. I mean, for people who've seen it and was part of it, you know what I'm saying? I really enjoyed the interaction. I mean, things were just flowing to me, and I was just in the deep zone. And I kind of messed that up. I was so mad because I was just trying to delete a little short video I had up, and then I just so happened to press the wrong video, and I deleted a video that had almost 2,000 views, and I didn't get a chance to go back and just look at what I was talking about, and I was mad because I wanted to do that this morning, but I messed that up, and so it made me have to come back and do this live. So sucks to be missed though. So shout out to everybody on the tap in. We're talking about what slavery needed. And right now, I'm not going back and forth about real book facts. I'm going about the facts of life of what we're living in right now. When we look at the police reports, when we look at the news, we have to say America's only going to get better when we start doing the process of elimination. And see, that was so early in the morning too. I mean, I woke up and I seen the video, and I watched this. It was short, and I said, you know what? Let me take this short off. I'm gonna delete this short. Freak it. I don't like this short. So I was gonna delete a short, and I deleted the wrong video. Oh my goodness! The short only had 8 views. That one had almost 2,000 views. That was a big difference. And trust me, I hate it too. I really do. That I feel so stupid. So right now, like I said, the powers that be is looking and they analyzing, and for like the last 50 years, they've been doing a whole lot of work. Why y'all don't want to realize the shit? In the last 50 years, a lot of work has been done. A lot of people, a lot of bodies have been laid to rest. Because the powers that be know that in order to make the country great, you have to get rid of. But when you look at roaches, when you look at mice, roaches and mice, you be like, what point and purpose do they serve in the world? When you look at roaches and you look at mice, pest. When you look at pests and pest control, you say, what point and purpose do they serve in life? What do they do that keeps life, going? And so now when you have people in powerful places, they're saying, what point and purpose are these black people now serving in life? That's the question that you got to really think about. What others people are saying about you that has the power to control you? What are they saying about this generation of black men and women? They say, oh, they good dancers and good singers, but that's about it. What point and purpose do we have in America? And I'm asking because there's a lot of people that saying, oh, like T.I., that nigga T.I. came on stage and like, when was, you talking to Candace Owens, when was America great? When was America ever great? Was it in the time of slavery? When was the time of this? I'm saying, when have we ever been great? Because once we become great, then we will have something to say about when America was great. The question is, when are we going to become great as black men? Okay? When are black men going to become great? When you actually take time out to study Kobe Bryant and study Michael Jordan. More so Kobe Bryant over Michael Jordan to me. When you start studying Kobe Bryant, that's when you're going to become great. Take away Kobe Bryant and him having sex with that girl. Take that away, folks, because he's not perfect. We ain't say when America gonna be perfect again. We say when America, when black men can become great again. So I want us to look at the life of Kobe Bryant. And Kobe Bryant will let you know, well, they probably would think I'm more boring because, I wasn't going out. I was practicing like 3, 4, 5 hours more than everybody a day. I was studying. I was perfecting my craft. When we start practicing, studying more, and perfecting who we are, like I said, we got to study Kobe Bryant. We got to be like Kobe Bryant. When I was growing up, Barry Bonds was somebody who I really looked up to. Barry Bonds, the baseball player. And I'm talking about the early Barry Bonds who played on the Pirates, not the San Francisco Giants Barry Bonds. I'm talking about when the Pirates had the Killer Bees. You have Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonilla, and the white guy. I forget his name. But it was 3 white boys with bees in their name. They call them the Killer Bees. Barry Bonds was, when they start showing him on TV and showing his work ethics. See, a lot of people didn't see that, but Brian Gumbel, I think he did a special show on Barry Bonds and was showing Barry Bonds' workout, how he's really into his craft. And when I was playing baseball and I seen that, it made me say, yo, I got to be like Barry. I got to step up my game. I got to work out harder. So when you see me jump down and do push-ups, it's because of the mentality I put in my mind. I got to be like so-and-so because this is how he would be. He would work harder. He'll work harder. Right now, while people sleeping, he's working out. When black men become his greatest, this is going to sound bad. This is going to sound horrible. But this is from my own personal experience. Black men become his greatest when he gets locked up. When he gets locked up, and once he get over the fact that where he's at, and once he tunnel vision into where he's at, and he know what it is, that's when he becomes his greatest. His body become great. His health, he start thinking about being more healthier. When they come out of jail, they be talking about, oh, I don't eat that, and they now all of a sudden they nutritionists. And they clean freaks. When guys come home from jail, they clean freaks, they into their health, and they eating right. And they also study more. They read more books. When you have time for yourself is when you become your greatest. When you make time for yourself is when you become great. When you are so all over the place and being pulled here and being pulled here, you cannot master being great. You could be mediocre, you could be good, But being great means that you studying and you really focus on your craft. You really focus on bettering yourself for who you are. And we have not taken time in history to be able to do that. We as black men has never took time out to do that. So my third question is, when have black people been great for America? This is our time to be great for America. This is right now is our time for us to be great for America. This is our time for black people to really, really shine in this country. And I ain't talking about because we athletes. I'm not talking about because we singers and dancers and actors. I'm talking because we active. We learn to be active in this country. We learn to respect this country. This is the best time in America right now. This is really, truly the best time in America. Because this is when we can improve ourselves to prove ourselves to be so much better than what we were yesterday. And it's a must. There's no excuses right now. There's no, oh, we got the great Barack Obama who's going to prove and save us. No, that's not there. Oh, we have this woman in office that's going to show us how to do it. No, that's not there. We have a rich old white man who's saying we're going to make America great again. We have him in office and in place. And all we have to do is improve to prove ourselves. Shout out to Tijuana Jackson. We got to improve ourselves to prove ourselves right now. We must improve to prove. And that's going to make this country great. Because I guarantee you, if we improve ourselves as men, as I'm talking black men right now, if we improve ourselves as black men, then our women will follow. They would want to be like us, in the image of us. They would like to be great. They would like to be moving like us. And then they're going to respect us. And then more families going to develop. More children will be born from that energy. Like the dude Trump said, he wants this to be a baby booming time. So what does that mean? If we moving into greatness, now we producing great babies. Yo, you got to pay attention to when God is talking. God is speaking through him. He said he wants this to be a baby booming time. And that means if we are focused on our greatness and now we're having families from a great bloodline. We eating right, we treating ourselves better, we treating our women better, we're not destroying our bodies, we being more healthy, we being more clean, and now we producing those type of children. That's very important. So when you have a person who's in power and that's what they focusing on, baby booming, sex, you to have sex but being great at it, you gotta say, who the hell is this talking? But you gotta be able to see when God is shining light on you. You know what I'm saying? But most people won't see that because they so stuck in their evil mindset and their evil ways that they can never see when a higher creation is working, when a higher creation is painting a picture, when a higher creation is writing the movie, when a higher creation is rapping the song. We can't see it because we're so stuck in our ways, because we have too much hate that's been engraved in us because we have wrong teachers that we've been following. And that's where we at, folks. It's scary, it's spooky because most people cannot believe the way a writer of life writes. A lot of people cannot understand how the executive producer, the director of life, they don't understand how they think. But the director, executive producer of life got the haves at the gate and willing to pull the drawbridge down because the haves know that on the inside is so much corruption, so much evil. They already know, and they know that they're going to need something that's going to be able to save them too. Okay? Don't think that just because they're rich, they don't need to be saved. They need the have-nots to come in so they can save the day. the pawns, okay? I'm saying have nots, but they looking at the pawns. They open up the gate so the pawns can get in and do the work. But always remember, you can switch and change your pawn to a king. You can switch and change it, or most likely you're going to switch your pawn to become a queen. So always remember that even though we are being used as pawns, once you get inside the gate, you can become a king and a queen. You can become a rook and a knight. You can switch up. But right now, as we are being used as pawns, we have to make the right steps and moves so we can get closer to the other enemy line, enemy side, so we can shine in our kingliness. This is making America great. This is us making America great. For us to step into the light and shine. It's important for us to step into the light and shine. As I keep on shining like the stars in the moon, get your pooper scooper doors allowed in the room. My mind is my Glock, my mouth busts the shots. Don't get too close cause my is hot. I'm not Jim Carrey, so it isn't Dumber Dumber. Realism in my head, therefore I'm like no other. My leap goes deep. I'm one of a kind. It's my time to shine. If you missed the press rewind. Powerful impact, boom, my brain no static. You all be my children, but I don't have dramatics. You lost in this world and you don't have a clue while I am what I am and I do what I do. Understand? So words is beautiful. And we have to allow the creator to write the script. We have to allow the creator to develop the film. We got to allow the creator to work. Because once we allow this creator to do its work, we're going to be so amazed that it used that person and this person and that person to prove a point, to make a point, to make reality. I love this world. I love the spiritual world. I love the deep, dark world, because when you put it all together, it's all up to us to navigate through it. And because I'm somewhat of a sporadic, spontaneous type of dude, I love that type of energy. But it's greater than when we all on the same page and we all can start shining. And that's what I'm trying to get us right now. So stop it, because when that man get in office, it's going to be MAGA out. Okay, when he gets in office, it's going to be MAGA out. You're going to be hearing MAGA, 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 MAGA. And if we are going against that energy, I'm asking you, so what do you want to do? If you don't want to make America great, what do you want to do? Because that's how we're going to turn it around with everybody. So if you, black folks, and honestly, I'm not even going to lie, I would love for him to approach you on that level. I would love him to approach it in his state of the hood, I'll say state of the hood, but state of the union address. I would like for him to pause. And he says, and for the blacks, I have a question. If you don't like the statement, or if you think that Make America Great only focuses on slavery, I have to ask you this question. What is making America great to you? What is making America, what do that mean to you? Don't worry about, or don't focus on what I think. What do making America great to you look and sound like? Sound and look like? And then let the media, let everybody go crazy with that. Throw it on the people. Because it's going to be MAGA, 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 MAHA, MAHA. Make America healthy again, make America great again. So if y'all don't want to make America healthy again, you don't want to make America great again, what do you want to make America to? You want to make America transgender, LGBT, abort your babies, single mother, no father, deadbeat households, drug-infested households. What do you want to do if you don't like this slogan, make America great again? And this is the question that must be turned around on the people themselves. And then say, if you can't answer it, can you find a intellect that can answer it on behalf of you people? Because who don't want to live in greatness? Who don't want to live in goodness? Who don't want to live in decent shit? That's the real question we asking. So when you get mad at hearing "Make America Great," if you get mad because you see a hat that say "Make America Great," but then you see people wearing a shirt that say "Savage," you hear Rihanna talk about she a savage. You hear Kendrick Lamar talk about savage. You hear everybody talk about being a savage. So you rather see me with a hat that say "Savage" on, as opposed to me with a hat that say "Make America Great"? I'm gonna say that again. You rather see me with a hat that say "Savage" on. You rather see me with a shirt that say "Savage," as opposed to a hat and a shirt that say "Making America Great." A hat that say "I am greatness for America." See, we can switch those words all around, but you rather see "savage." Black people rather see "savage." Black people rather call themselves a beast, a goon, a goblin. I'm that nigga. See, everything the black people that they praise, oh, it's no snitching. It's all of a dark side. So when they hear something like "Make America Great," the evil in them gets triggered off, and they try and make it sound like, "Oh, this is racism." No. So if you look at this as racism, then what are you looking at with your thoughts of seeing savage? That's not demonic. That's not evil. And that's why I'm saying I wonder if slavery was needed. Okay, I really wonder if slavery was needed, because if we roam in the streets with shirts and hats talk about savage, every time I see that, I walk away from a person. When I see them, when I see a girl, especially with eyeliner and eyelashes that go all the way like this, and she saw about a savage, I cross the street. I'm not lying. When I see people with the certain apparel on, because you can read. So if you can read and you read down, and you maybe like 5, 6, 7 blocks away, and you see, oh, that say Savage on it. 5, 6 houses away, you say, oh, she got a shirt that say Savage. I'm across the street. That's a Savage right there. I'm not wearing a shirt that say Savage. I'm not wearing a hat that say Savage on it. And any person who buys their child a shirt that say Savage, or a parent that allow their children to have a shirt that say Savage on it, is a problem. Is a major problem. So if you idolizing being a savage and you idolizing no snitching, then you are idolizing the devil. And I'm gonna ask you the question: was slavery needed? Is slavery needed? But y'all don't want to face the reality. That's what I'm saying. Going into 2025 is a reality check. Your man said it. He said 2024 is going to be a year of the week of the opening of abyss, where everybody's going to be revealed. Cat Williams said that 2024 was going to be the year that everyone was going to be revealed. 2025 will be the year that those who are being revealed will be destroyed. 2025 is a year is actually about to be a destruction year. I told you that 2022 was a year of war. That's when we went to Ukraine. I said that before that shit happened. I said because it represents 666. And then now I'm telling you that 2025 is the year of destruction. 2025 was the year of destruction. And see, that's what I believe in. That's what I'm saying. We gotta get organized. Because I'm foreseeing some things. I'm foreseeing some things. Even if it's my crazy thoughts, I'm still foreseeing some things, and I'm seeing that now is the time for destruction. Don't believe me? Look at Sean Combs, and you don't think that the Hollywood's about to be destroyed? You don't think that politics about to be destroyed? With all these people coming out and they trying to get their bread? Cassie getting 30 million. You got Lil Rod trying to get his 30 million. You got this person trying to get their 10 million. You got that person trying to give 2 million. You got that. Yo, things is going to come crumbling down because people about to do everything they can do to get that money. And if that means bringing down tyrants, bringing down evil, then they're going to do that. And once people start bringing down evil, evil is going to bring down the people. So 2025 is going to be a year of complete destruction and chaos. If we're not organized, it's going to be a year of famine. If you think COVID was a bad time when the streets were shut down and the stores were shut down, if you think that's a problem, wait until the year of Atlas Shrugged. 2025 is the year of Atlas Shrugged. I've been talking about that book for a minute. And the Illuminatus had one of his mistress write the book. If you Google it, if not Google, but if you go to YouTube, the movie's on YouTube. It's a three series movie, 3-part series. The first one is extremely good because that's the it's pretty good because it's the breakdown of the people and it's the build up for the shit that takes place. The third one is just like it's going to be like the last one is like way over your head because you're not going to understand it. The third part is like, yo, this you should understand it, but you're not going to believe it. But believe it. Believe it. The book is called Atlas Shrugged. The movie's called Atlas Shrugged. Look at it. Watch it. Don't read the book. Just watch the movie. The movie's based on when the people who run the world, they decide that they want to go on vacation. Did you hear that shit? The people who rule the world, they decide that they just gonna up and leave everything as is and go on vacation. Whether they're gonna be dead to the world or they're just gonna be disappeared to the world, they just go on vacation. When you talk about Epstein Island, when I heard about that shit, I said, "Oh my goodness, damn, this book is deep." Then when all these girls are coming out saying they all have an island, Joe Biden got an island, this person got an island. Didn't Beyonce and them buy an island? Somebody, could you let me know Beyonce and Jay-Z bought an island? I mean, I can leave out tap. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm gonna check it out. So if you can bear with me for 2 seconds. Sorry to disappear like that, folks, but I had to. You know what I'm saying? Sorry to disappear. I apologize. Sorry, folks, but I had to get some information. So they did not purchase an island, but they did purchase a mansion worth $200 million that sits on 9 acres of land. Okay, that's surrounded by the ocean. They didn't actually get an island itself, but they got enough that we could consider a small mini island. But when I just checked, and it said their worth was $33.04 billion. It said that Beyonce and Jay-Z worth was $33.04 billion. I know they messed up. I know they probably meant to say 3.304 billion, but they said $33.04 billion is what they are worth. It can't be. But according to these people, there's a lot of islands that people own. You got Tom Hanks and people buying stocks on the moon. They buying land on the moon. Tom Cruise, they buying land on the moon. Barbara Walters bought land on the moon. She dead though, I think. But the bottom line is, folks, if the book is saying that these people was doing some things, if the movie said that the people who have these special islands, and if Harry Truman came out 30 years ago, this movie Harry Truman Show came out 30 years ago, and it showed a section in the world that was just completely bought off by a person, and he has his own movie studio, but it's the biggest movie studio in the world, and it's the size of a country. Why we can't believe certain things to be real? You got the movie Harry Truman Show 30 years ago. You got people buying islands. You got the Epstein Island. You got the Epstein list that everybody's still waiting for. You got the Diddy list that everybody's waiting for. They want to know what celebrity was doing what disgusting satanic shit. You got everybody who's inquiring minds want to know. And I'm saying to you, what part of this is making America great, though? And that's what I'm saying in history and time right now is the best time in life because once with the Sean Combs situation, if we embrace it and say no more because we embarrass and we hurt, see, we need to be embarrassed and hurt for us to make moves. And sometimes I think that's what slavery was about, embarrassing and hurting us. Ooh, because we so difficult. Are we just that difficult type of people that we really got to be humiliated? They have a humiliation ritual. Do God and the devil have a humiliation ritual as well? Look at the book of Job. Was that a humiliation ritual? The deal with the God and devil? Was that a humiliation ritual? And that's what I'm saying. If we are here on this land to do one thing, and that's to do the work that our Creator wants us to do, and we're not doing it, do you think that we would get punished and humiliated at the same damn time? And I'm saying to you that this is the best time in our lifetime because now the spotlight is on all these super rich, powerful people that's been ruling for a very long time. And now it's up to us to judge them. And it's up to us not only just to judge them, but to move them out of the equation and take their place with greatness. Because we already seen what we don't want to be like. We already seen that we don't want those characteristics. We already seen the Jezebel spirit. We already seen the lustful gods come out. We've seen Baal. We've seen Baal, whatever one you want to call it. We've seen the system where we've been giving our children up for abortion. We've seen the system where they've been taking our babies and using them for whatever they use them for. And then you have these girls saying that they had eaten humans. And y'all talk about, oh, they lying. They're not lying. If you want to make America great again, you stop going against what's being revealed to you and you start fighting against it. If a group of people come out of a tunnel and they say, yo, in that tunnel, yo, we got to get dynamite and everything because it's nothing but the walking dead in there. Do you really have to go all the way up in there and be like, oh, shit, they right. Oh, my God, they coming. They already went in the tunnel. They tell me what's up in there. They coming out and tell you what we need to defeat them. Like, I need another like. I need maybe like 5 more likes. I need like 5 more likes. I'm here. I'm on this live stream. I'm on this live stream telling you I need 5 more likes. I'm over here. I know what I need. I need 10 more likes, to be honest. It'd be nice to get 10 more likes. But when you have a group of people and their job is to go into tunnels, their job is to go into caves, their job is to go into deep water caves and explore. And then the explorers come out and the explorers tell you what they explored and they found. And then you saying they lying. Are you going to go explore? So if you're not going to explore, don't call me a liar. But that's what we do. We spend so much time trying to prove you wrong that all we doing is proving the enemy to be right. That these motherfuckers are stupid. They're going to waste 100 years trying to debunk the situation while I'm going to rule for 200 years. This is serious situations, and I'm telling you that we got to become serious. Thank you for that thumbs up, folks. Salute, yo. I mean, for real. I wish that we had this type of energy when I first came on the scene because that FDMG situation would have been came to an end. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Everybody who hit that like button, we double salute you all. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for the like. Thank you for sticking in with me. Thank you for rocking with me, yo. This is part 2 of my yesterday's live. I really hurt that I lost that live. That live said, was slavery a choice? And I'm really starting to believe that slavery was not just a choice, but it was the only option to save us. You gotta understand, we are cattle. We're gonna always produce. And as long as we're able to produce, we always will live. But you got these demons trying to stop reproduction. You got demons trying to stop reproduction. I had to tell this woman, this young lady the other day, that it's important for her fetus to reproduce babies because she sounds like a fetus that is would produce good cattle. We can't keep allowing Megan Thee Stallions and Cardi B's and all these other women to produce cattle that's not good for the country, good for the people. So it's important for us to really produce good cattle because this is the reproduction that's going to be for the future. So it's important for us to really, really understand that your life do matter, and your children's life, what you produce, really matters as well. But it's up to us though. But yeah, salute to you folks. Neo Venus, no doubt. All right. So we got 5 likes. If we can get it up to 10, I'm gonna do this live stream maybe up until I get 10 likes, but I doubt if I can get 10 likes. So I'm just gonna do this live stream up for a few more minutes. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you folks. It's 2 o'clock. You send me a message. My phone rung? I didn't even hear my phone ring. It said my phone rung at 1:20 p.m. I didn't hear my phone ring. Oh, hold on. Sorry, folks. Salute to all those people who support. I didn't know I had a missed call. I didn't see I had a missed call. You know what I'm saying? I did not see. Shout out to all those people who support. I didn't see that I had a missed call. I didn't see nothing. So shout out to everybody out there. All right, let me see what I'm gonna keep up there for the meantime. I'm gonna keep who I'm gonna put up there. I'm gonna leave on the screen until I get another comment. I'm gonna leave this up there. All right, I'm gonna leave Jules up there. Jules, Jay, the Lady Butterfly. I'm gonna put you up there. All right, love. We're gonna put you up there, Lady Butterfly. We're gonna leave this pinned up there. Okay, because this is important. Fathers back into the homes. Okay, fathers back into the homes is needed. So we're gonna build off of that. Fathers back in the homes. So for blacks to make America great again, we got to bring the fathers back into the homes. And then once we can get the fathers back in the homes, hopefully the fathers that get back into the homes have God in them. And if they have God in them, then God is in the households and God is the head of the house. But we got to get the fathers back in the households for us to really truly make this country great again. When fathers left the household, that's when the country and the world, fuck the country, that's when the world became destroyed. When they took away the fathers and they took away the manhood and they took away the manliness. When they demasculine, when they start demasculine men, that's when they got worse. Because once you demasculate a man, that you devalue him, and then he has no point and purpose. When you make him feel like he has no point and purpose in his own family, how can he really be in the world if he feels he don't have no point and purpose with his own family? You already killed his spirit. Once you take him away from his family, and then when you make him pointless with his family, have his family looking at him like he's a deadbeat. I came across this dude, and this is movement. That's his movement. Deadbeat fathers. That's his movement. That's his movement. Deadbeat fathers. He's shouting out the deadbeat fathers. That's some deep shit. You know what I'm saying? But we're not here to slap our fathers in the face. We're here to wake our people up because we want to save us. We truly want to save us. But the way you save us is by revealing to you the truth. So many people, the problem with Pan-Africanists is they sugarcoat shit. The problem with black power people, conscious thinking people, they really, really would argue everything so that they can be comfortable in a lie. They would argue people to be comfortable in a lie. And that lie is what's hurting the world from moving forward. The lie that we now living in, let me take a little 2 seconds for this one because I know this one's going to be a bad one. Once again, thank y'all for your support. If there's anyone that can help out, we do need your support. $ Icy Don 167. All right. We're doing this inauguration day. Don't lose your thought, Don. Don't lose your thought. Damn, I'm gonna lose my thought. Damn, the problem with what? Don't lose that thought. I lost the thought. I lost the thought. I was saying something about the problem of something is. I'm ready to jump off the live stream and go back to the live stream and find out what that thought was. Somebody help me out. What was the last thing I said before I started doing the drop of this right here? Because I had a major thought. We saw about the deadbeat. You know what I'm saying? My mind is moving like a computer. And I just did a quick drop, but I lost that train of thought. I apologize. Because the thought was developing. I'm about to leave out and go back into my live stream and check what the hell I said. I might just do that. I don't know if I can do that on this one. When I was on StreamYard, I was able to do that. Oh well. Once again, inauguration day rally. We got to better ourselves. We got to better ourselves as men. We're going to step up our game. But it's going to start with the thought. You know what I'm saying? It's going to start with you believing that you are impactful for this country. You got to believe that you are great for your family. You got to believe that you're great for your community. You got to believe that you're great for your job. You got to believe that you're great for your girl. You got to believe that you're great for society. It starts with you believing that you were made from greatness. But if we keep installing deadbeat this and deadbeat that, we're going to lose great leaders because they're not going to want to even participate. And that's what's happened. That's why you see a lot of people with their podcasts, the men and women going against each other, because it's like we're accepting this role of not being great. Sorry I lost that train of thought. I think it was a good one. But my whole thing is, once we allow fathers back into the homes, back into the schools, back into the households, back into the hearts, that's going to be like the horses that come through, the cavalry. Okay, that's the cavalry coming back. Once the fathers come back into the household, that's the cavalry coming back to destroy the enemy. And the enemy don't want that. And beautiful ladies, yo, the enemy, the real enemy now looks like you. Remember back in the days, the enemy looked like some old white man, or the enemy was in some country some black guy. But now the enemy looks like you. Nowadays, the enemy took the form of a woman, and I'm here to warn you that if they speak about an antichrist, I'm here to warn you that it's a possibility that the antichrist might be a woman, because you won't see that coming. And with this whole feminist movement, this whole transgender, gay movement and everything, that all falls underneath the umbrella of Jezebel. So if we're going to fight, we have to identify who the enemy might use. The enemy might use or might be using a woman already. Like the movie End of Days, and the girl name was Christine York. And when you broke it down, her name is Christ in New York. And she was the chosen one to bring forth the demon child. When you look at the movie Omen, in that movie they introduced 666 in Omen. The baby has 666 on his head. The baby needed a portal, or the baby came through a woman. So I'm saying to you right now, with this whole wave that's going on and all this crazy chaos, confusion, Don't be surprised if it come in being led through by a woman. This ain't me beating on women. This is me just letting you know we got to be ready, prepared. Like Medusa, like Medusa. So we got to be willing to go against. Now, ladies, you have to be willing to fight against your women when they are talking reckless. You have to be willing to check your women when they are really trying to stop the fathers back into the homes. When you hear a woman speaking like the man is not needed in the household, you must attack her. Ladies, you're closer to women than men are, because there's a spell that's drifting us further and further away. That's why Trump is saying, no, I want to bring down this drawbridge so we can come together so we can make some babies. Going back to that, yo, that's some deep shit. He said this got to be a baby booming semester. So if you want to make America great again, clean up your system and start making some babies. That's the way we're going to save the day. But we got to make sure that we laying down with the right woman and not a Jezebel. And that's why it's important for, especially our black women, to go natural. The Jezebel spirit is an unnatural look. Jezebels are unnatural looks. We're talking about this country. We talk about making it great. The way we're gonna make it great is by stop laying down with these Jezebels and producing these little Jezebel children. Because obviously they're gonna have to be destroyed. So why make something that's going to be destroyed? We must make children that's children of God. If you don't believe in God, we gotta make children that's children of goodness. Is that a better word? We gotta make good children. Is that simple now? We have to make good children, not bad children. We have to make good children, not evil children. Meaning that they have to be image and of likeness of God. Good. Now God's not nice. I said good. God is mean, because being mean sometimes is good. Like if a mother's screaming at their kid and it doesn't sound like she being mean, but she's making sure that kid don't run in the street. The kid ran the street and now she got discipline. Like, yo, you don't do that. It might sound mean, but it's for the good. And that's what I'm saying. We have to do things of the good. We have to live of the good, and we must start laying down with people who's good. Got good heart, good spirits, good mind, healthy. And then that's what we got to produce from. I ain't no perfect nigga. Don't get that twisted neither. So, I mean, don't get nothing twisted. But I'm talking to myself. See, I'm looking at myself. I don't see you. I'm looking at me. So I'm talking to me. You guys just hearing me. You can see me too, but you hearing me. But I'm talking to me. That's why I love doing these lives, because it allows me to talk to me and not be crazy. I don't see no one else. And then when I finish talking, then I say, oh, wow, 100 people listen to me. Wow, 200 people listen. And even if it's not 200, wow, 100 people listen to me. And it makes me feel good because I was talking to myself. I just wanted you to hear me. So I need you to hear this. As I'm going to come out and come clean and answer all three questions now. Slavery was needed because we were bad people. And because we was bad people, we look at this country as looking like the country's bad. But because we had evil in us, we never took time out to make this. We never been an asset to this country because we had too much evil in us. So black people, for some reason, deserved the slavery that took place because we had too much evil in us, and we took time out to curse the world. And as we curse the world and curse the God that created us and created the world, we have never took time out to give back to this world. And we're at this state right now. And so God is going to use certain vehicles and vessels and people to do what we supposed to do years ago. Because it's never too late. Because all we have is time. The mountain's not going to just fall over by itself. The sky's not going to just turn black. The water's not going to just evaporate. It's going to take time. And as time progresses, those things develop. So we done allowed enough time to progress where evil developed at the highest form. And the way that we're going to make America great is by destroying the evil. So when he says, let's make America great again, that means that we're going to take time out to eradicate the evil out the people because they don't be acting right. Both black and white. Be smoking crack tonight. Shout out to Joe Biden. He just said, yo, my son ain't going to jail. What y'all think about that? What you think about that? Huh? So the whole thing was, so if Kamala Harris got in office, well, they was going to just lock up Trump, and then they was going to exonerate, they was going to free, they was going to pardon Joseph Hunter Biden. He was just going to get he's sitting back like, I'm going to get pardoned. I ain't worried about this shit. What's your views on that? Do you think that Biden's wrong for pardoning his son and then shooting off and then sending missiles over to Ukraine? So he pardons his son, get his son out of prison. He's going to get his son out of jail, and then at the same time going to put us in World War. And you guys was voting for that shit? That's what y'all was voting for? This is spooky. But this is what I'm saying. Because you're ignorant, I'm not saying it negatively, I'm saying it for real. Because of the ignorance allows the devil to win. And as long as he can keep feeding you a plate of pity, and get you to keep thinking about slavery. And I'm saying to you, fuck all that shit. We deserved slavery because we was evil. How can I say that? Because we are evil now. Horrible, hurts. It hurts the fact that I have to be part of this evilness. I just paused because I was thinking about my dad, and I'm not going to lie. Shout out to my dad, because outside him barking at us, disciplining us, and correcting my moms, outside that shit, yo, that man was really a good man. Outside him whipping me when I did wrong, or whatever case, or when he felt like whipping me, disciplining us, talking to us to make sure that we have fear for him, keeping my moms in check. My mom's wasn't out of control one, but just keeping her in check. I don't have nothing negative or bad to say about my father. And that's the reason why I'm really, really mad that I didn't give him enough love. So, damn. Now watch what I'm about to say. So let's just go to this book called the Bible. And let's look at that character in that Bible called God. So if I'm telling you that although my father was in my life, he might have punished me and he might have screamed at me and all this other stuff, he was actually great. And I didn't spend enough time honor him in greatness and let him know that he was great. How do you think God feel? If we're not giving God enough time and glory and letting him know how great he is for the fact that we can go and eat technically for free if we got rid of these demons who's the serpent protection, or the serpent That's not the word protection I'm looking for. I'm looking for a different word. Security, but it's a different word for security. But they not securing. They preventers. They the prevention crew. These we got these serpents preventing us from eating for free. They got these serpents preventing us from being healthy, and we sitting back waiting for a person to come in place that's going to make that change. No, God's like, I have you here to make the change, and that's what I'm saying. I truly believe that we can really make the change once we can correct ourselves. Like this dude, he's picked it up. And like this person, Neo, Venus says, the dirty hearts outnumbered the pure hearts and will fail. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. We're going to fall if we don't step up. It's just that simple. And to a lot of folks, it might be scary. But that's our only job. Our only job is to try to change the hearts of people. And if we can't change it, we got to right in the heart. Understand, like Dracula, you got to put the stake in the heart and then destroy them. I wonder if the destruction of the heart, because isn't it true that the heart still can beat when the body's dead, or the brain still can survive out the body, right? Isn't that true? The heart can still. Is that true? I know the brain still can function, but maybe the spirit is within the heart. That's why all the old Dracula movies, they had to stab him in the heart with the stake, and that's how they killed him. They had to drive a stake through the heart. Is that how you kill the demonic spirit itself? You gotta go through the heart. So we might have to really start destroying folks and not burying them as pieces. Burn them, because if they dirty hearts, we gotta get rid of that spirit. Now it sounds crazy, yo. Oh God, it sounds crazy. But yo, how are we gonna make this world great if we don't get rid of what's outnumbering us? So folks, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Neil with that one. You know what I'm saying? As we converse, we talk, and we listen, we hear, we really start knowing what it is. What slavery needed. If we have dirty hearts now, what was the hearts like back then? If they made laws for pedophilia now, and it's a crime, can you imagine? Can you really imagine what was it like 300 years ago, 200 years ago, let alone 1,000 years ago? But can you just imagine what it was like 200-300 years ago? Like I said, I'm about to cover the story, and it's in regards to the young lady. It just takes a lot of energy for me to do the sex trafficking conversation. It takes a lot of energy to do that, because just when you talk about it and you say some things and just your mind just go off, and then you just really start thinking about, yo, right now there's somebody's being traumatized, tortured, eaten, you know what I'm saying? Because cannibalism is real. I was seeing some shit with Hillary Clinton from the dark web, and them talking about, you know what I'm saying, the certain like kidneys. They love the kidneys from black boys. Like, come on, man. And this girl's online talk about they had me eating people. They had to make sure that she was all in. And then they brainwashed her to believe that this is what she's part of, because she's all in. There's no turning back. Who's going to accept you now? That makes you stay in that weak mindset, like, yo, oh my God. Then they keep you in the drugs, and then they send somebody in that you like and you feel comfortable with, and then they sex you. Then they keep their thing going on. This shit is wicked. So that's what I'm saying. If we're doing that now to women, can you imagine what it was being done to our women back then? that made slavery happen? Can you imagine what type of people we were in Africa to one another? Can you imagine what type of people we were in Brazil 400 years ago? Do you really think that we was walking the earth really in loving, peaceful harmony? And if we was doing that then, why are we not doing it now? And I don't want you to give power to that enemy that you call your enemy. I want us to take full credit for what it is. Why are we doing this shit, what we do now, if we wasn't doing it back then? What, see, watch this word. What changed us? What changed us? Understand what changed us? So as I'm talking, my man, this a dude, right? Make sure this a dude or female? Neo Venus? I don't know. Can you let me know? Neo Venus. I can't see your picture too well. Is that, are you female or a dude? Sorry, Neo Venus. I'm trying to see. I can't see your little avatar. But Neo Venus says the Lord of the Rings. I'm a guy, Zach. I felt that. Okay, no doubt. So my man Neo said this. Yeah, I wanted to make sure when I'm talking, I say the right shit. Yo, my man Neo said the Lord of the Rings and never-ending story tell how an evil change came. Now, when they keep saying the Dark Ages, there's a part of time that was not recorded. The Dark Ages, the religious wars, the religious wars. And Christianity won the religious wars. But we really just say, fuck that. We ain't gonna discuss that. We're gonna talk about flat earth. But the religious wars, the Dark Ages. And these niggas would sit back and they would watch these movies and shit like that. But then they'd be like, the pseudo. Okay, cool. But when Jesus turned over the tables in the temple, he was angry about the change that took over. What was this darkness? What was this change? What made Jesus really flip over that table? Was it seeing homos? Was it seeing the lust of man on man in the streets? What was so evil that made us go into darkness, that made us go into slavery? What was so evil that everybody was able to touch slavery? What was so evil in the people that they was enslaved? Because it's easy to say, oh no, the slavers were the evil ones. But I'm saying, what was in the people that made them say, yo, we got to enslave these people as opposed to everybody? Why the entire world just didn't become slaves? I don't know, man. I don't know, but I can just only go by from what I see in present day. If present day is anything like the past, or if the past was anything like the present day, I can see why. And it's just so sad because, and it's so hurtful to know that we go through such atrocities. But the bottom line is that is it the patriarch or is the matriarch took over and began to destroy the matriarch? You know what I'm saying? But my whole thing is that we became so evil. So evil. But you guys don't want to accept it because you want to, as long as you be a victim, then you can always put the blame on others and then you don't have to accept your play in it. You're playing it. But if you have more than 2-3 kids and you have never been, in a marriage, a family, But if you have 2, 3, 4 kids and you still moving around as if, you know what I'm saying, you're a free person with no responsibilities, if you like that now, just imagine your ancestors. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. The lust god is definitely a problem. I think the lust god was a major evil. But when we talk about cannibalism, like I said, you know what I'm saying, going back to those young ladies, yo, I dropped the window on my finger right before I went live, yo. It feels like it's been cut off, yo. It's burning. It's burning. My finger truly hurts. Once again, shout out to everybody here in the chat. Shout out to everybody who's tapping in on the live. You know what I'm saying? I'm just grateful to be here. And thank you for, keeping me company with this nervous title, this nervous topic, because you know how black folks get when it comes to hearing the word slavery. And then me saying was slavery needed. Like, oh my God. I know they looking at me like I'm crazy. But what else was there? You know what I'm saying? What else was there? When they like, yo, the bloodline of these people have to be destroyed, or the bloodline has to be enslaved to be controlled. Let me ask you this. Here goes one last question. You know, this is one good question. Slavery was a training. Slavery was an ultimate mind control. So let me ask you this. As a nation of people, as a nation of black folks, after all those years of being mind controlled and trained in the form of slavery, are we better off after that, or are we worse? Are we better off after slavery, or are we worse? Or my question is, are we better people now that we offer the slavery punishment, or are we worse people than when we went in slavery? See, no one really asked that question. No one asked and answered that question. And that's a panel discussion that I would love to not even be on, or I would just love to host that question to the panel. After slavery, during slavery, after that horrendous training camp, after that boot camp of slavery, that's the okay, after the boot camp of slavery, if we was to ask white people across the board, ancestors of slavery, are the blacks better people after slavery or worse people than slavery? You have to say, well, first I have to know what type of people they were before they was enslaved. You know, somebody would say some shit like that. And then have everybody pondering, thinking. Then I would come back and say, okay, let's just use our imagination. Let's look at us nowadays and let's just imagine us where we was either 100 times worse or 100 times better. I don't see 100 times better at all. But I'm just saying this. After slavery, after the slave boot camp, would we say that we are better people, much more disciplined people, or less disciplined and worse people? I don't know. And that's the magical question. What people are we? Are we better? Yo, Venus, yo, you are communicating, and I appreciate that. You said I would say we are a new people, but better after. Ooh, right. Ooh, right. Ooh, right. I know. Ooh, ooh. Damn, Venus, you a mean person. You got to get a wrench. Damn, you get a wrench, my G, because you real. I would say we are a new people, but better afterwards. Okay, so my question for the new people was, after boot camp of slavery, the slave boot camp, okay, after the slave boot camp, are we a better people or a worse people? And my man Neil came and says he earned the wrench with this one, folks, okay? Because he's keeping we keeping it real here. When you come to my channel, there's no fake fraud shit. When you hear on my channel right here, when you hear right here on this channel right here, you're gonna talk that real shit. You ain't gonna talk no fake shit. You ain't gonna talk no buttery biscuit shit. You ain't gonna talk about no buttery biscuits with grape jelly on it. You're gonna talk that real hardcore shit. And my man says, I would say we are a new people. I was like, where he going with that corny bullshit? But then he said, but better after. Woo! He said, nah, ignorance is bliss for some though. So you say, nah, we not better, or you saying we are? Which one? Nah, because you said nah. Well, you say, nah, ignorance is bliss, being that, people not accepting the fact. I need to know what you say, because it threw me off a little bit. I would say we are new people, but better after. Then you say, nah, ignorance is bliss for some though. I need you to just are we better? You say new people, but better. Is that what you're saying? Or you say, nah, I'm fuck with you. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Or you say, nah, your ignorance is just bliss for some though. You just do it because that's the country in you. You know what I'm saying? I'm stupid, but for real. I would say a new people. So the old people, what you think the old people was like? Do you think the old people was like savages? Because look, like I say, savages on people hats and shirts. I don't see Chinese people walking around with savage on their shirts. I don't see Chinese people walking around with savage on their hats, on their heads. The only ones that would say that have savage on their shit is people that live in urban communities, people who live in urban black communities. That's why when that dude, the boxer Andre Ward, he changed up the whole movement when he came in pushing the Godson shit. He came straight up in boxing and was saying, I represent God. That was deep, that was actually needed. Then you had DMX. He came and started representing God too. Then they offed his head. But when he was DMX, the junkie, he was cool. But once he became a new person, a new people, then they offed him. When he became a better person, they offed him. And anytime that you become a better person, not only your people off you, but they disassociate themselves with you. But you get offed ASAP. So my question was, and it made people run, was because people really aren't man and woman enough to have a conversation. Like you said, ignorance is bliss for some. My whole thing is, was slavery needed for a group of people that move like savages? And who's you to say who was moving, who was they to say that people was moving like savages? Maybe that was just their culture. That's what a lot of ignorant people will argue. Oh, that's just part of their culture. Savagery is part of their culture. Who want to grow up in savagery? You might as well just go get locked up and live in jail. Who wants to live in a savagery and claim savagery as their culture? For real. So his final answer is, we not better people, but a different people than before. And that's what I'm saying. So before, was we more savages, or was we more of what the black African, these black Pan-African people really want to paint the picture? Oh no, we was kings and queens and gods, and we was builders, and we was this and that. And so if we was kings and queens, how did these people enslave us? or they stole us from our lands. If we was kings and queens, where was our knights? Where was our army? Where was our people to fight? That's what I'm saying. We be using that word kings and queens too loosely. Oh, I'm a king. Nigga, you ain't no king. You a peasant. But we use the word so loosely to justify for our real ignorance. I just know that if I was really to go and investigate my bloodline and my family line, I know that I'm from a kingly. I already know. Because I grew up with my father, and that's what I seen. Like within my father, I saw him. He just needed a crown. Put a crown on his head, and he would have fit the part. That's just what my theory, what I saw. Whenever I saw my father, I didn't see nothing less than the king. I'm being 100%. When my dad pulled up, when he came in the house, when he left out the house, when we brought him his water, when we brought him his food, when he served for us, when he cooked for us, we seen the king. I didn't see just a regular man, I saw a king. And other people saw it too. And I'm not just making that up because I really had anger for my father most of my life. It wasn't until he died that I really truly started speaking the real truth. And that's what hurts me. And so that's why I know God is hurt. Because he's like, yo, won't y'all speak the truth about me? Won't y'all give me my flowers? I ain't going away. Give me some flowers. And that's what I'm saying was slavery needed, because we don't give our creators enough flowers. And we idolize and mimic everything of the wrong. So now we different people, and what about us is different now? The way we think, the way we move, the way we dress, the way we act. We're not acting like savages no more. What was wrong with us before slavery? You know what I'm saying? What was wrong? What was the problem with us before slavery that makes us a different people today? We now, when you say different, I mean we scared now. We humble people. What are we? We really, the only word I really look at is we scared. We humble, we scared, and we want to hide. We are a group of people that want to hide behind shit. We're a group of people who became now more reliant. You know what I'm saying? What we talking right now? Help me out. We were more nurtured. See, we talk the same shit. Okay. See, I was saying now we became a people that's more reliant. Okay. So we were more nurturers then. They came in with treachery, abuse of power. We was a kind of people. And ever power. I'm not getting that word IVER, and blink power through deceit. We were kind of people and blinked and lost power through deceit. A lot of times, you know what I'm saying, I used to live with that. I used to be able to take that, like, word, true. But now that I'm older, I don't want to give them the power. I don't want to give human beings that power. Because if it was human beings that was allow that, then it's either there is no God, or it was really ordained by God. Because what's 400 years? I'm looking at my lifetime. I'm like, damn, this should move so fast. I'm like, yo, it moves so fast. It's gone. Like, what in the hell? What's 400 years? Once you have a routine and the life just be ticking. There was people. There's according to that book, there people that lived 400, 500 years, 600 years, and then he ended that because we was what wicked. So he's like, "Why I'm gonna keep you around all this time? Y'all not even giving me no flowers." I'm gonna stick with my guns, man. I'm gonna stick with my guns. I believe that wickedness is in everyone, in every generation receives slavery. You know what I'm saying? Every not generation, but every race will embrace slavery in some form or fashion. Yeah, I'm dead serious with that, yo. You know what I'm saying? We were a kind of people and power and overpower. Okay, overpower. Okay, I got you. And overpowered through deceit. I got you. I got you. We were kind of people and overpowered through deceit. That O and the eyes couldn't on close to each other. I got you. And we were overpowered through through deceit. Well, why? If we was see that's then that makes a lie when it comes to we God chosen ones. We are the original Jews in the Bible. I mean, if all I mean, but then like I believe if that's the case, we had to go through it because at the end of the story, we're gonna rise up and whatever's gonna take place. But I'm just saying like this. I don't think that we was that weak of people that these people was able to come in without the help and the order through the Most High. Because 400 years is a long time. 300 years is a long time. Even though it will go by fast, it's a long time. And for us just to be deceived for a long time like that and not freed and not free from and not mercied and not restored, it must have been. You know, I'm looking at us now. I'm like, yo, we had to been way worse. Serving gods of frogs and rocks and logs and made up voodoo dolls and Venus, yo, it was a great pleasure to really kick it with you. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. We need more nurture. We was more nurturers. We need more nurturing. So going back to these last two questions, so was slavery needed? After all that's being said, was it needed, or was it just a case where we was tricked in, or you can't trick me into slavery. You can't trick you. We were just kidnapped and we was just beaten to it and we was fearful because we didn't believe in God or something like that. I don't know. But when has America been great for blacks? That's the number one question. The number one question to me is when have blacks been great for the country? When have blacks been great for the country is right now more important than when has America been great for us. Because to me, America's been great for us for more than 60 years. America's really has been great for us more than 60 years. Like I say, America's been great for us once they started having the military army come out to protect us. That's when that's when I say America was great. When they send the military and troops in to give protection, that's a sign of greatness. It's just that we didn't know how to channel all that shit without having hate. Still, you know what I'm saying? If they providing aid and they providing military, they providing bullets for you, and you still talking about them like they ain't shit, why would they continue to give you aid and bullets? And you know what I'm saying? So you got to think about how we can interrupt and we can mess up the greatness that's developing by roasting and just teaching hate. And then that's why when this dude Trump comes in and say, "Yo, our history, our books, everything is a spell that we have passed through generations of generations to make people hate this country, hate their people, hate human beings. And so the only way to end it is like Thanos and end it. Because remembering it and living in that remembering, if we are not going to end it with us going against them and stopping it right then and there, if we think that can we all get along, then the only way we're going to be able to get along is when we just say enough is enough. Look, enough is enough. But when you have Umar Johnson saying, yo, I need to build a school so we can keep it going. I need to build a school so we can keep this going. Wait. Keep what going? I'm saying is if we are here to do what we have to do, we need to just erase them out the picture. Because if they're evil, they're evil. If they're deceitful, they're deceitful. If they abuse power, they abuse powerful. If they did it then for 400 years, they will always do it. So if we know that, then we must erase them. And if we're not willing to erase them, then what? So my man Venus says, you got to go to the bottom in order to rise up. You replace that. Let me see what you're saying. You got to go to the bottom in order to rise to the top. We fell from heaven through all these dimensions, from gods to niggas. Love, you know what I'm saying? But we got nothing but divine destiny, destined in our future, and that's what I'm saying. If we fell from heaven, you know what I'm saying? We here. And we got a destiny, a divine destiny. We are in the future right now. What is our divine destiny? To make sure that we get all the evil up out of us. And we must destroy evil. Because evil can't exist no more. And if evil is the history, if evil is the lessons, if evil is the people that's teaching this shit, we must get rid of it for us to get back to our divine destiny. We must destroy evil. But we ain't going to destroy evil because we are changed people. We're scared. We're not in our natural state no more. So right now, we're going to have to deal with God destroying evil. I don't know. This shit's too heavy. So that's why people are like, oh, that's pseudo shit, because a lot of men don't want to deal with those realities of that spirit world. This shit is bananas. A lot of men don't want to deal with this conversation. That's why I don't have 1.3 or 300 people in this live stream, because most people don't want to deal with this reality. They rather sit there and just be 3 hours in of roasting and putting the blame on someone else, as opposed to start looking in the mirror and be like, yo, man, am I a good person? Am I right? Am I doing righteous stuff? Am I a hate teacher? Am I holding on to hate? You know what I'm saying? This is a question that when you on my channel, this is what we go through. But on all other people's channel and all other people's lives, they're going to be sugarcoating shit because they want you to give them $50. That's why a lot of women are doing real good when they're really saluting the men. They see the hustle and they wake up every day to just say, hey guys, I'm not going to strip, I'm not going to take off my clothes, but I'm going to stroke your ego. I'm going to rub your head, I'm going to rub your chest, I'm going to rub your back with these words. Give me $25, give me $50, give me $50, give me $50. Stupid niggers. But I'm going to say this shit every day because I'm going to stroke this shit and I'm going to pay for my lifestyle. So there's a lot of women that got the game down. Say the right things to these guys, they're going to shoot you that $50 bills. But I'm not going to say what you think is right. I'm going to say what I believe is right. And what I believe is that looking at the day and age that we living in, because look, what would make Umar Johnson say, we gonna have to purge our own people? Why would he say that? Why would he say that? It's no different than saying, slavery was needed. When you come online, you're saying, yo, 90% of these black boys gonna have to be destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Why would he say that if he didn't believe that, yo, slavery was then needed? Because if you believe that we need to destroy these baby boys that you talk about saving now, if you talk about they need to be wiped out, and you said it, I know you said it because I heard we talked about it. I know how we feel about it. I know how we really feel about it, bro. I know how we feel about it. So if you saying it, and then I'm saying was slavery needed then, and you saying we need to they had slaves, they kept them around, and if they didn't, they were disobedient, then they hung or whatever. But you talk about straight up, we're gonna have to just straight have mass slaughtering of our own, straight Black Panther style. If you saying that now in 2020 or 2018, you know what I'm saying, at the time when you said it, then you definitely believe that slavery was needed because we was definitely out of control then. But you're just not gonna say it because you want your cash app to be hit. I want us to break free so we can save ourselves. $ Icy Don 167. But this is definitely a good build. Let me ask you this one last question. You know, I'm gonna keep asking one last question. I think I'm gonna ask like 3, 4 last questions. What's your viewpoint of when have blacks been great for America? When was blacks great for America? Who can answer? Who can throw their input on that one? Should I say when have blacks been great for America, or have blacks ever been great for America? Can someone throw something to that one? My man's up in Detroit. Detroit is rough right now. My man said, "Thanks for the moderator position. Spiritual beings having a human. Spiritual beings having a human experience, refined by fire and wisdom. I'm homeless right now. Shout out to you, fam. Shout out to you, man. Right now, but I'm happy to know myself. And that's what kept me going strong, bro. For real. That's what gets me through. Shout out to Neo Venus. Yo, I don't know what brought me to, to even throw the wrench, but I can tell when spirits is right. And when you have nothing but time with yourself and you're going through some shit, like he says, he's happy to know himself. And that's what's getting him through. The reality check and being able to oversee and see what's really going on with the people, yo. These are human experiences, yo. I'm trying to tell you folks, a lot of you folks need to go through some stuff. That, you see, slavery, you see what we're saying? Most of the times we got to go through some stuff for us to really be able to get the wisdom, for us to really find and know ourselves, for us to really get through life. We got to go through some shit. And the stronger you are, the harsher hardships you will go through. The harsher life experience will come to you, the stronger human being you are. The stronger your spirit, God will give you harsher things. And if you're super strong like myself, he's going to give you abundance of avalanche of things. And all these experiences, folks, if you can get through them and you still can be happy and find happiness within yourself, that's power. And salute to all the people out there. Salute to all the women out there. Salute to the slaves. Salute to the slaves who was hung. Salute to the slaves that was rebels. Salute to the slaves that helped reproduce this world. Sorry that you had to do that. Salute to you. But one of the worst things is for you slaves to just sit back and allow this to be. And that's what pisses me the F off. When I watch the movie Django, seeing those two big dudes go at each other, killing each other, trying to kill each other, and one get killed, and seeing that we did it for a tall beer, that was a human doing it for a tall. Get this man a beer, a tall beer. And so you take a life just for a beer. I can imagine what the people was doing just for some cornbread. And when you can study people and realize that they would do anything just to eat, they would do anything, that's spooky. And that's what I'm saying, folks. We as a group of people, and you didn't answer the question though, Neil, but it's okay. You came with that other shit. You came with this right here, which is, deep. But my question was, when have blacks been great for America? But when you sit back and you are fighting and killing each other for a 12 beer, and you guys not coming together to take out your enemy, that makes me really believe that you was complacent and in compliance with where you was at and you was comfortable. But yeah, shout out to everybody. We're gonna end this soon. You already know we're gonna end this soon. I'm grateful for being able to talk on this phone. Thank you for. I'm happy I was able to pay this phone bill and keep it going. But your support is really needed for this Inauguration Day rally. Okay, we got we got to get this popping. We got to make this happen. And as I always do, I'm gonna read the proposal. The purpose of the purpose of this rally is to organize a bus trip to DC for Inauguration Day protest and march/meeting. And don't forget the celebration of the union of men building for stronger family values and communities. So the basis of this rally is to build for men, the union of men, and stronger family values and communities. Our overall goals are to establish a true acknowledgement of America's men, not with a negative outlook, but through the vision of a key role in family and leadership. We would do this by being responsible and supportive to one another. We would do this by organizing these key points. Institutionalize mental health programs, because so many of us are dealing with hardships of life, and we do need a little bit of mental help. Promote regular health checkups. A lot of us men are not taking care of ourselves because we're going through mental issues and we're not really taking care of ourselves. We need major education support. We got declining colleges, you know what I'm saying? The enrollment rates amongst men is like, I ain't going to college, man. And why should we? Why should we, to be honest? Support trade school and vocational training programs. Advocate for more male teachers. You know what I'm saying? Have a criminal justice reform system. Support rehabilitation programs. This is what this men's thing is about. Domestic violence support. See, domestic violence ain't always, some people really do need their asses locked up with this domestic violence. But a lot of times, domestic violence just need a major support system. It's not always necessary where it needs the police, but it needs a special task force, a domestic violence task force, where they can go and diffuse the problem and sit there for an hour or two to fix the problem. They are law. You cannot treat them like no regular civilian, but they are not the actual police. But they can lock you up, and they can protect themselves too. So you're not just going to, punk them. They can kill you, but their job is not to come and do that. Their job is to come mediate the situation and save the family. We must advocate for more shelters, and I call them oh damn, what I call the shit? I call it living houses. No, not living houses. I call it the resource centers. Within these resource centers, they like shelters, but they resource centers. All at the bottom is resources, and up at the top is living quarters. Within this resource centers, everything that the people need. We need resource centers, which is also more shelters. We need a parental system, a better parental system. We need community building programs. We need to be able to support male role models. And so these are things that we are going to the rally for, but we also going there for other things. But that's the soft side of the shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the intellectual side of it. But yo, thank y'all for your listen here. Yo, my man, yo, Neo, you got my number? No? Here it is. It's for you. Hopefully you're still here, yo. 215-986-5624. 215-986-5624. Yo, hit me up, man. We can talk. We can chop it up. Because you don't have to be just, I'm pretty sure you have some type of family, friends. I know you have something. But yo, now you got me. I'm your brother. You heard? So yo, holla at me. You know what I'm saying? You can call me, whatever. You can chop it up. Whenever you want to talk, I'm here. What you say right here? There's two different black people here in America, or in the world itself. The originals and the blacks. Majority of us are original. Whose fight are we fighting is the question. We fighting to remain original. We fighting because they trying to change the original man. They trying to take the original man out the equation. And they giving us the blacks. But yo, it's time for us to rise up. Once again, Black Man Rise, Original Rebel. I think it sounds better, Black Man Rise, as opposed to Original Man, Original. See? Black Man Rise, Original Rebel. Wow, my words is deep. See? It matches what you say. Black Man Rise, Original Rebel. You said we the originals. You got the originals and blacks. We got to rise from this blackness and become the original rebels. Black Man Rise, Original Rebel. So like you said, there's two blacks in this line. Post alive. Post alive. What you mean by that? Black Man Rise, Original Rebel. We have to rise from this blackness and become who we are, original rebels. Facts. All right, folks. We here. Post alive. Thank y'all for your listening ear. We did 3 hours, folks. I'm sitting here in one spot for 3 hours looking at the wall. Look, I'm sitting down right here, and the wall is right in front of me. See, that's the wall. See my hand? See my feet? I'm sitting right here and looking at the wall like I'm on punishment for 3 hours, folks, to deliver this message. I'm talking to you like, look, my head is on the wall. I'm like got myself on punishment looking at a wall for all this time. Shout out to me. Shout out to you. But shout out to me, because who sits in a chair for 3 hours looking at a wall, looking at his face, talking to himself? This is the messenger. It's 215 986 5624. 986 986 5624. Thank y'all for your listen ear, your support. I'm out. Peace out, Venus. Peace out, Neil. Peace out to everybody. And yo, much love and success. And yo, we gotta try to stay warm. Where the hell you staying, dog? Well, call me. We can talk about that. You know, we ain't gotta talk about that right now. All right, you know what I'm saying? But you got my number. Hit me up. As we tapping in, tap the like button. Show the love. I'll be back a little later on today. I don't know if I'm gonna do the comedy roast thing with Umar or if I'm gonna talk about the young lady. I feel like because I did yesterday's live and I dedicated it to a little nemesis in the in a certain sector, but you know, hopefully we can build from there. But what I'm going to focus on today is real serious situations. So I think I have the right mindset to talk about the woman that's been sex trafficked since she was at a young age, and then a person saved her, but he became bad too. But then he found God in his life, I guess, and he didn't be as bad as he could have been. But a lot of our women, shout out to our white women who go through it too, yo. Shout out to the snow bunnies who go through it just as bad as our black queens. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I really mean this, yo. Shout out to all women who went through and go through some wicked shit. We gotta rise up, man. We gotta stand firm and we gotta fight this evil. That's the only way we're gonna win. All right, peoples. Peace.